Yeah, you're a little late there, Angel. All right, so call to order and roll call.
Roll call.
IOV eradication here.
Mr. Hume.
Present.
Mr. Feiler.
I'm the president.
Cheryl Hart is absent. Mr. McGough.
And here it is. And just for a note on the next month's minutes, you're the ones doing the roll call, not me.
Oh,
No, it's not correct. Okay, let's stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Hart.
Mr. Hart has entered the building.
You have to do the pledge of allegiance first.
I can't do that. All right, so approval of meeting agenda.
Approve it second.
Favor? Audience comments. Any comments? No comments.
I'm good for them too.
Oh, but do that. All right, let's go on to staff reports, field inspection report.
Oh. Part of it right here. Painting and all that.
Oh, yes. Yes. visual aids. Oh,
So we've never painted this part on the light poles before.
right.
So this has been painted. This is what your colors on your signs are.
So a question on the signs that I noticed there was like 2 or 3 types of signs.
There's 3 sides or 2 sides, I'm sorry.
So one is just that. But there's another one looks like the thing slides in.
This does slide.
Oh, this one slides in.
This is that.
Is that, okay. But there's some that are just that. They're not.
They live.
If you go on Greenbrier between campus and West Park, you'll see it's a different sign. It's strange, but let's just talk about this one. Well, it looks good, but here's the question. Do you have to reprint every single one of those?
That's what I'm asking you, because these colors are gonna match up with our celebration green paint.
Because it's faded.
It's faded.
So. Okay, so I would say if they're like that, we have to redo them. If the signs are fine, I don't think we should redo them.
What's the
Well,
cost?
I mean, forget this being, kind of, just the color is what I'm getting at.
Colors should match.
I mean, I gotta imagine by some sort of state code, even though we've got a unique design on our road signs, we have to display the signs in a
Yeah, in a legible way.
little legible way.
Yeah, right.
I think we have a choice.
Instead of like this, that we're gonna
Right.
get done.
That.
But the question is, do we want to do all what you're doing?
That's what I'm asking.
So how much is it per?
It's 94 a sign. If we take the sign down, take it down to the sign place, they'll put the stencils back on, put it down.
That's just re-stenciling, that's not repainting.
That's just re-stencil.
How much is it to repaint the green, blah, blah, blah?
Once I think is only gonna charge you $200 each. We were gonna do this.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
part of the painting, everything green.
Okay,
We're just about 2 weeks away from.
well, I know we're like,
We're gonna paint.
I know we're at 11 gazillion dollars per gallon of special green paint, so.
180.
So Russ, you're worried about the colors on the printing not matching the trim painting? Yeah. That's, the trim painting is so dark, it's almost like a black. I don't see a problem. Okay. I'd go run with it. Just run with it? Yeah. We can do that.
Make a motion.
What motion? We just
Make a motion to just go with what we got?
do it.
Yeah,
Make it so. Done deal.
maintain status quo.
Yes.
You have to record.
I would say you for that.
It would mean more if he had, Earl Grey.
If I ever watch this.
Earl Grey, yes. Well,
I got a question for you, Russ. For feed removal on the boardwalk between Lake Devon and East Florida. How extensive is that?
I don't know. I haven't seen the go-go ticket. It may have already been taken care of.
It's taken care of.
It is taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was most
That
of the
was
time.
like, what, about 10 days ago or
Yeah.
more? Yeah.
That wasn't that place that girl was trying to. do
It's in
a-
that area, but I don't know if there was chalk that was left behind, but somebody wrote on the panels, on the poles,
Okay,
and we cleaned it up.
okay. Done.
Anything else for field reports?
When are they gonna get done with that Patterson Park area? Cause it's been like that for 3 months.
Patterson Park area.
County?
Road repair.
Oh,
Oh, that's up to them.
I know it's on the county, but it's.
It takes, so
I mean,
just so you know, when you identified the giant pile of dirt,
Oh, I had
okay,
a colorful conversation with the county.
Okay.
Through the next day.
it takes 3 or 4 months for them to create that pile of dirt, take the curb out. It takes another 3 months to go ahead and frame it. It'll take another 3 months to go ahead and put the cement in. And it'll take another 3 months for them to put the asphalt to cover the other stuff and add another 3 months to remove the cones that are in the roadway.
well,
That is how
took-
long it
I
takes.
Took the final cones after they sat there for 3 months, so.
See?
yes.
I mean, it's a very long process. And I think what they do is they hit the county. And then they just start, I mean, it's not just like in one area, so it's kind of painful.
Since it's not an official CDD test, I'll be happy to copy you in my email or resume.
Good
and
luck
say,
with that.
What was the main line repair?
In that area,
Yeah.
they hit irrigation there when they were getting ready to do curves.
Oh, I see. That's why, was that? Was that the one that they removed the tree on Celebration Ave?
On which tree?
I don't know what the main line, I was just looking at the main line. repair. Was
What
that-
what are you talking about?
There was
In the
a tree on Celebration Ave that was taken up and I didn't know if the.
Oh,
main line
that-
repair coordinated.
that was the reuse.
Yeah.
Line that had a hole in it.
Is that in front of the townhomes?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And Shelley, your original question, when I contacted them, they told me the first week of September. 2 weeks ago, they said, oh, then we're delayed by the weather. We'll get there next
It's sunny now, so that's also weather, so they're delayed. So,
Humidity.
anything else for us?
Just usual stuff.
Vendor reports. United, no,
week.
anyone from United?
And no one online from United. Mayor Alex is on.
Yep. Yes, he's on.
Yep, Alex Kurth with Premier Lakes. Not a whole lot to report, honestly. We did our inspections. The algae has over the last 2 months been greatly reduced on just about every lake. I discussed implementing some new strategies prior a few months back to the board, including utilizing a boat more often, using that to kind of chop the algae up as we're spraying it. And combined with some new mixes, we're seeing a lot of improvement across the board. So we're really happy to see that, and we're going to keep on working with that and utilizing the boat more. On Lake Reinhard, we also did get the water circulators running. So we are hopeful and confident that the current that we've now created along those steps will keep it clear for the foreseeable future. But if they need to be adjusted to make sure that we're getting the proper, positioning to make sure it's effective, we're going to monitor that and make sure it's completed. So other than that, everything appears to be going well for us.
Alex, I have a maintenance question on those. You
The
have those other-
circulators?
You have them in other locations, correct?
Say that one more time.
You have those in other locations, correct?
Yes.
Alright, so when I look, it doesn't look like there's much of a guard on the impeller. Does stuff get stuck in there very often?
Occasionally, yes. Typically it's pretty good at staying free. The only time I've really seen I've seen a rope once or twice get caught in those. Usually most other debris is just kind of pushed to the side and doesn't really get caught, but ropes or something like a string, I could see like a balloon string, something like that nature might get wrapped in it, but for the most part, they stay pretty free and clear.
Okay.
What about fishing lines?
Fishing lines could get caught up in that.
Yep. Anything stringy, right? Anything with some kind of length to it is something that risks getting just tied up in it. Usually from what we've seen, unless it's a significant item, it usually just reduces the flow and it's kind of noticeable, but doesn't altogether stop it unless it's really significant, like a thick rope.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Okay.
Legs feel good.
We'll move on to clerk, and underneath that is consideration of a 1-year extension for clerk mosquito control service agreement.
Sharif is here.
Hi, Sheree.
Good evening, Sheree Jackson, representing Clark Environmental Mosquito Management. As you know, we've been your vendor for mosquito control for some time, and we thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your community. Earlier this year, we made a request for a 4% increase going into the next year. To my knowledge, I don't think Clark has ever asked for an increase. I don't even know if we thought we could. So as far as the contract goes, we know this is really just a request. It's not mandated or anything. The cost for, let's see, labor, insurance, the active ingredients that go into things, shipping, it goes up every year. We just never really asked for an increase. I think that the contract simply says if there's any changes to the agreements, both parties have to agree in it, but there's nothing written that says this is how you ask, this is when you ask. So
Right.
they told me to go in and ask this time. So that's really just the extent of it. So yeah, we completely understand you may not have budgeted for an increase of any sort. So
Right, I think that's the point. There's no escalation clause. It's up for 2-year automatic renewals. Market's been soft. We just increased the budgets by 19% to everybody. Would vote the answer is no until the next budget cycle because we did not come to that.
Or go to RFP.
Or vote out. They'd like an increase.
And I would vote no, but for a different reason. I mean, I did it as a 5-year contract. It was the base plus 2 ones and it was. It was requested and bid as these are the prices per year. I know that in a lot of the contracts, we do get bid escalation rates. They were bidding at 2%, 3% escalate. This didn't have an escalation rate in it. That would be my. In addition years, that would be my concern. So it's certainly not a performance one, and Sheree, I'll tell you that straight. I mean, when we went through this competition 3 years ago, I mean, you guys were head and shoulders above everybody else, but that to Shell's point, I mean, it's. Combined frustration with the fact of Shell got $250,000 a year for county services, but I'll pocket that one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm in the same thing, because it's already in the contract, I mean, in our budget.
yeah,
So we haven't looked at it. So it's something we might want to revisit next year.
I think it's fair. I understand the perspective. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think that going forward, we should, things are a little softer, so I'd rather wait till the next budget cycle to give us.
I mean, I think as a board perspective, I would zoom out from just their particular contract. Do we want to ask staff and council to build into all of our price contracts? That way it's consistent. Hey, we're going to inflate with CPI or something that's consistent, because each one of them, I know that we kind of leave it open to the vendor to say prices you choose to.
Right.
I don't think we need to decide it now, but I do know that our contracts are inconsistent, and maybe that's appropriate that they are because they're different services. It's just, this is not the first time this question has come up from one of the vendors saying, hey, we've been here for a long time.
Well, let's see.
And we haven't done an escalation, and all of a sudden we get, I think it's a fair question given the market, and you haven't made an escalation, but it's also not it needs to be a priced planned thing.
Oh, I agree, and I don't want to. I mean, because we've had vendors that are gonna say, hey, we don't have it in our contract, and like, well, you should put it in the contract.
Mhm.
And so I don't think we should mandate what.
but see, we
all
use
that.
your contract. It happens and then you give us the contract. We don't
That's
do the
true.
contract.
That's true.
Well, and it depends, I think, on how we're soliciting it in the RFP. I mean, we're certainly structuring technical terms.
Right.
But I know Jan and I had the conversation several years ago when we were doing concrete pouring. We weren't really structuring legal and pricing terms and conditions.
I get it.
Every service is different.
If we're representing I don't want to negotiate for you, so I'm not gonna give you the escalations. That's simple.
Yeah.
So, we're looking at the best that we can. We're looking at 5 years, and if something changes and you don't raise your hand, I'm not gonna offer the fact that you should put in a 3% escalation. So, because 10 out of 10 times, if the costs go down, are we giving money back to anybody? 10 out of 10 times?
Of course, I can't count on costs
No,
ever go down. That's just me.
So
Never seen that.
I would not suggest that necessarily, but our contract, we should standardize the way we do it and look at them carefully and.
And that's why I said if we talk to like CPI, hey, it's an independent thing, that if it goes up, it goes down. But
Well, this is Jan. I mean, so sometimes we list it by, this is a 3-year contract and we list what are the prices each year. And it's up to the vendor whether they're going to escalate them or not. I mean, that's generally how we look at it. So, that's really up to them whether they keep it firm for the 3 years or not.
So are we in agreement? The answer is to not do anything this year and revisit.
technically you have to do something because their contract expired.
Well, you can agree to extend it into the same.
Correct.
I'd make a motion to extend the contract 1 year without an escalation, revisit the cost differential next budget season.
And they have the option to
They,
not
they
extend.
can not extend it if they wish, and then we go to RFP.
And I would second that with the comment that based on the fact it was priced for 5 years at this number, even if we come around to next year and the same request comes up, I know this is gonna sound really cold hearted. I'm still gonna say we need to stick to what's in the numbers because that's what was competed and what was priced.
But they always have the option to not accept.
Yes.
Well, that's
We
the,
got the
so,
option to do the RFP. Absolutely.
okay, let's be very careful about that, because whenever you try to strong arm something, the intended result is not gonna be the result you want.
No,
You're gonna actually end up paying a lot more
I'm not.
because we're gonna play those games. So we gotta be very.
I'm trying to be very open and honest with a partner that's been here for a long time, just my view over the next 24
And I
months.
would say, to your point, I would not strong arm with that, because I don't know what next year has to bring, so.
Right.
If GDP and everything goes the wrong way, then
Yep.
maybe it's different, so I don't know, but we should at least revisit it in earnest and have that conversation, but. We know what happens with the economy, it's not,
So I'll second your
rocky.
Shaw has the motion, Greg, second. Sounds like we're having discussion now.
Well, no, so, Jack, do you have anything?
I think that Clark has been a valuable partner to us, and I'm not interested in RFP, not at all.
Neither am I.
I would like to. I'd like to include the increase in our next year's budget.
Okay.
So.
Meaning.
Sharif, would that
next
increase
budget.
still be 4%?
They really try to calculate that based on what changes are in our costs. So,
Well, the issue at hand is that they're not under contract right now.
It's a 3 year with 2 year.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Technically it expired.
That is
October.
correct.
Okay, so
Step number one is we need to.
we need
approve
to,
the contract
we need to approve
as it is.
what the contract is that we're.
That's the motion.
That's, yeah.
Motion without an escalation.
Yeah,
but we
1 year
will
extension.
critically evaluate it for next year, now
Alright.
that we have time to evaluate.
Right.
Because it's outside of our budget.
Okay.
So Jack, I think that's what it is.
I'll call for the vote.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I ask a parallel question?
No, it's too late. We voted.
Well, this is not a
We
question.
gotta move this meeting along, Greg.
Well, this is a question for staff as to why are we getting something that expired 27 days ago?
Okay, let's go back to that. You all discussed this months ago. She brought up the 4%. You all discussed it and no decision was made. That's why. It was brought up well before the contract expired on September 30th.
I understand that as far as whether or not we were going to entertain a number escalation, but that is a separate and distinct issue from I need somebody on contract.
No, it wasn't. So what it was is you had the option to renew the same thing you're talking about now. You extend it for 1 year. Sharif came and said they wanted a 4% increase. Y'all were not happy with that, but you never made a decision to extend it for the extra year.
I never made a conscious decision not to extend it. I simply said for the budget cycle, I wasn't looking at a 4% increase of supporting that. That's different from saying I don't want the service at all.
No.
Angel, fill me on the timeline. When did Sharif come to us? Was it before our budget was completed?
It was, no, it was during budget.
Yeah, it was
We-
before, I think it was May or April.
I want to say May.
Yeah, I wanna say second half of May, and we do have a tendency to leave these things hanging. Like, there's been a few, so,
So we've not treated them properly.
right, we should have brought this up. At least got an agreement beforehand, so.
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So was an extension just for 1 year, Tom?
Yes.
1 year extension.
Okay.
1 year extension.
Got
At the
it.
current rate, at the current rate.
Got it.
District engineer. Mark, what do you got?
So I've got my monthly report. It's shorter, relatively shorter than some past months. Really just dealing with Island Village and some of the walkthroughs that the kind of contractor's been having Russ and I do. Did take a look at the email that came in today with, this is right behind you, Jack. I saw you pulling out in your nav there, the alley that runs parallel to the Reeves. So not the one right behind your house, but the one that's perpendicular.
Yeah,
I guess during the rain, water kind of sits there.
okay.
It was I was just there, it's more, it's pretty much dry, there was one puddle still there. It's just slow to drain, it did rain last night around 10, 11 o'clock, whenever it was, so it's been about 18 hours and it's almost gone. Don't know if that condition's always been there. Did the residents say that it's something new, or is that a new resident that just moved in complaining about it? I don't know. Really, the fix is if you want to get rid of it quicker, we probably need to survey it, get some grades, and come up with some lining and elevations to get more positive fall there, which would probably involve cutting a better invert in there. It's very flat. It's kind of right at the high point. There's two inlets, two intersections, and the middle is kind of where it's highest. And it's just kind of right in the middle where it's just kind of flat and a little bit undulating, so you kind of get puddles when it's raining all over the place. But it does drain. So it really
Starting to get a few areas like that.
I've seen.
over time, there could be a little settling in there.
West
I know that the alleys, I don't think alleys out here have under drains in them, but you get a lot of irrigation.
The west part of.
So you do probably over time get a little bit of movement in the asphalt. So this,
When did do you know when the ticket came in or?
the email came today, like around.
Well, because.
Oh, but this one,
You mentioned it like a month or so ago, just how to
Okay.
consider it.
Because yesterday it was a downpour, so you expected to. You would know.
Yeah.
Flood.
So the pictures, I don't know if the
Expect that.
pictures were from this morning or last night or
yeah,
what.
it's from about a month ago.
So it there's water there. Does get hung up on the edge because like the couple driveways right at the top, the asphalt's a little higher than the concrete driveway, it just kind of rolls down. Don't know when that was repaved, if they actually milled the old asphalt out, or if that was where the asphalt was lower than the driveway, so it was just an overlay.
Is this an area where they coated the road?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the alley,
That was
yeah.
in the other.
Oh, in the alley, okay, sorry.
So
I mean, is there a recommendation to do anything, or is it kind of like, it's slow to drain, but it is draining?
it's slow to drain, it does drain, it appears like it's gonna be all gone in 24 hours, which has kind of been the standard out here. So it comes down to, do you want to spend the $30,000 to redo that alley? Overall, the asphalt looks in decent condition. It's not all cracked or falling apart.
Right.
So the condition of the asphalt's in pretty good shape considering it's age.
And we. I think it's, was it next year?
2 years. Say North Village, I thought was the next one on.
Central Village.
Central Village.
Yeah.
Yeah,
North Village 2 years.
Yeah. I can say that because I'm in East Village and my alley, when they repaved it. And then they went ahead and, oh, we have to fix something. Well, the fix just made it worse than it really was, but it drains. So it's like, it's not.
My alley's had water in the same spot for 20 years.
Yes.
I mean, I guess everyone views things a little differently, is it annoying
Yeah.
or not, but
Let's take a look at it and see what's going on with it.
go ahead and survey it. And really, it's really the best way to get any sort of elevation, survey the driveways and
Yeah,
asphalt,
just monitor
just monitor.
it. Yeah. There's another one up there. I had Jeff with USA look at. I shot grades the other day. It's right in front of the guy's driveway, and then every time he drives on the driveway, HOA is coming by and tell him to clean his driveway.
Fire tracks of water?
That's just-
Or is it pulling dirt?
I mean, I get that.
Every day.
Yeah, somebody turns on the sprinklers, the water goes into the alley and I drive through the water and I come in and water evaporates. So the HOA can't tell you to go ahead and clean up water. You can't do that. Again, what,
Back
so
to
many
the-
lawyers.
Back to the
because
kind goes like that, like now, all the dirt that accumulates right there too.
Provide them guidance that the standard is 24-hour evacuation is, so if there's a standard, and let the people know so you didn't keep complaining.
For evaporation,
If that's the standard, that's the standard.
yeah, I think that the big deal, if it's like 2 or 3 days and it's just standing
I
there,
understand.
that's a
Seems to
that's a
be
mosquito,
over
that
the
becomes
standard, right?
another issue.
If it's not sitting past the standard, then
Maybe that's what it is. That's what we evaporates in 24 hours.
if it doesn't, then it's worthy of further consideration.
The question of, is that a standard?
I don't know what the standard.
That's what I'm saying. Is there a standard for this?
That's generally the DOT standards. Yeah, less than a quarter inch on the 24 hours.
Okay.
How do we, that's the standard we go?
I understand. That was more of who's going to.
We come to your house and get it.
Yeah,
Sorry. Anything else for me?
That's all I have.
Okay. District council.
That's me.
Um,
Thanks for having me Zoom this month.
Jan, hold on. I think Dave's interrupting everything.
Well, that's because you didn't ask if there was anything else for this district engineer before you go down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have anything
Yeah, of
else?
course I do.
Make it quick.
Of course.
I see dinner.
Hey, I had to know that there was a post-closing agreement with Mattamy based on the phase one turnover. Something about a street sign. Is that still accurate?
Yes, Jen, maybe.
There is no post-closing agreement yet. That's for the next phase that we have not accepted. We're assuming they'll have the sign before we accept the rest of phase 1A and 1B.
Okay, so that's still outstanding. We expect to see that the next phase closing?
Yeah, I think next month that they're starting to push to get it done.
Oh, okay.
And I told them we wouldn't accept any post-closing agreements after our last one that took a year to get done.
Thank you.
I know they ordered the sign, 2 months ago.
yeah, it was a long week.
Levy Lane and Estuary Lake.
Yeah.
You got a Green County sign there currently, but they don't have the decorative sign that was. I think that's it. Phase.
Oh, and I know that you and Jane are still working on the pond issue, right?
Yes.
All right. Is there an ETA on that one or getting
I
worse?
think Jan's got some new help. It's gonna be helping with that load, with maybe just, doing some, obviously working with us too, but looking at some of the permits, trying to see how to get some of those ponds transferred out of TCC's name and into the CDD's name. I think it's probably the next step on the permits. Is that kind of what you're thinking, Jan?
Yeah, as I say, the biggest thing we found was a lot of the permits appear to have never been transferred. So we've got to go through and see if Mark can find anything else on the public record. And if not, we may have to make a public records request to make sure they weren't transferred and we just can't find them. Because that's the first step, is making sure everything is named properly. But we should have a report next month on at least a status of where we are and what else is happening there.
I'm gonna ask a pain question on this one. Just, I'm trying to understand the risk against the cost that we're incurring on this, and I appreciate you guys are being diligent and not racking up bills, but we've been at this for
3 months.
more than that. These ponds, we've been talking about this at least for 6, as far as who owns, unless I'm misunderstanding the topic.
I don't know if Jan worked on it for more than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's been a
we've-
discussion for,
We've got a list. It looks like the district owns 90% of them. I don't think we have a whole lot that are going to be issues of we're doing somebody else's work other than the golf course. And then most cases, the golf course does the maintenance at their own expense.
okay.
I mean, it isn't, and Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but there weren't any glaring omissions that there were suddenly a bunch of ponds that we were treating that are not our ponds or not part of our stormwater system.
Correct. And one thing to piggyback on that is I think Ferguson was maybe planning to come to this meeting. They're a vendor that supplies the materials for pond bank stabilization. I think they were planning on coming to this meeting, but it was taken off. I had the other company, Western Green, kind of slated for November. And some back and forth with Angel. I didn't think we wanted to have 2 vendors come to the same meeting and kind of make a presentation, just 1 for timing and 2 just for. Yeah.
Angel, go ahead.
Yeah, I discussed it where we looked internally. I think what we're gonna do, Mark, is unless the board says otherwise, bring the proposals to the November meeting, and get a list of questions from the board. And then if you want vendors to come, we can invite them after that. Or if you want them to come in November, but I was gonna provide proposals, get a list of questions you all had, or if you want to narrow it down to one vendor over the other, or hear from them both and do that in December.
Can we make sure that they're level loaded and there's a very specific template, so we're not, because we're gonna get 3 radically different answers, and I don't wanna go through that again, like the fencing.
Multiple materials you can choose from.
Well, right, but let's give them absolute clarity on we want it to be this, this and this with this type of material so that it's.
I don't think we're at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We haven't been shown enough yet, I don't
Well, the
think.
problem is without
And-
further education, it's gonna be all over the world and it's gonna be of no value and it's gonna be a complete waste of time. So we either get somebody in to educate us on what the methods are, the means and methods, which I agree with, or we're gonna waste 2 months and more time.
Well,
So,
I go back to, I think my comment from last meeting, I want to be educated as a board, more
I
importantly.
don't
I'm
understand.
gonna look at him, I'm gonna look at him, I'm gonna look at him and say, what do you guys think? Is gonna be the first question out of my mouth. So I want to make sure they're educated first on what we're asking.
Mark, the scope, Mark, wasn't definitive on any sort of material. It was kind of letting them decide what material they were going to use. So if we want to go that route, we're going to need a definitive scope from you on what you want in there.
And each pond would be different.
Right.
Yeah, each pond could be different areas of ponds could be different, you know, you have, call it a cheap fix versus an expensive fix.
Well, we have 800,000 to $5 million.
Yeah, so,
If you could just say, hey, let's target, I forget how it was coded, but here are the, red lights.
Yellows, yeah.
Here's the $800,000 scope, here's the means and methods, all three of you do it, so we could get some sense on what the ecosystem looks like.
I don't know what yours bid on, Mark, but what I sent was your spreadsheet and asked them to come back with corrective just for the red areas, the top priority areas. That's all I got from the vendor that I sent it to.
did they actually give you some pricing for that?
Yes,
Okay.
I mean, guys, my,
Range of pricing at least, like low,
and a
Sure, so-
scope.
okay.
and Angel, I think that would be one guy's suggestion is if you're getting some feedback, to Shell's point, it's gonna be different from each bidder. They're gonna do walkthroughs with you guys and whoever's appropriate from staff to do that. That way, you guys know the questions we're gonna be asking as far as level setting and recommendations. And I don't know, does a red mean I need a level 3 and an orange mean I need a level 2? I don't know. I'm counting on you guys. to
No,
tell me.
the material, you could use the most expensive material for the green areas.
Right.
It's
really
really
how
great,
long
or
it's
you
gonna
could use
last.
just dirt and sod for the red areas.
Mhm.
It really kind of boils down to how much do you want to spend and how long you kind of want it to last, the higher quality materials will last longer.
Sure, I agree on, first of all, the approach, the severity and means and methods. And then go out to RFP, because without it, it's like the fence, it's super frustrating to me.
Well, and
It's like we better do a better job scoping it and defining it. And then we get players to react, because otherwise this is gonna be another 6 months.
And if it would be helpful if you guys came back next meeting and said, hey, to us, again, from my perspective, I'm just looking for an operational outcome. Hey, are there boundaries, to Shell's point, on the budget numbers, a low and a high, whatever? Ask us the questions that we can all agree on. Okay, here are the boundaries we're setting from a board level, and then you guys can go out with the vendors and try to figure out if they can make those. I don't know. I feel like we're throwing darts.
The other operational impact is if you have red and yellow together, we're just gonna bid on red. What's the cost to come back and do the yellow? That's adjacent.
And that's the discussion.
That you could look at that adjacent properties and say, hey, you can give us an add-on.
Yeah.
Per square foot, whatever it is, I don't care how they do it, but lots of ways to contemplate that in bed and say, should you wish to do that? And you wanna try to get more efficiency on the job, then do that as a,
So-
tell me the exclusions, I mean.
So if what I'm hearing, in order to get that, right, in order to get that detail, it would seem that each vendor would have to come out and inspect every pond that is red, even when bordered yellow, and then give a good, better, best pricing. That's what they would have to do. They would actually have to come out to each individual pond. Now, I don't know if there's a cost for that.
For an 800,000 to $5 million scope,
Right.
then they should get out.
Well, I understand that. I get that. That's not my point. My point is that in order to deliver that ask, I think that's what we're asking. That will add some time because they have to actually have to do that. Weather's better, so it's not too bad. So I think maybe that's what we have to look at. Because what's gonna happen is once we get that pricing and it comes to the board, no matter what the details are, everyone's gonna, wow, that's, and then we're gonna start, squabbling about where we're gonna
We
price
need
it.
to address this for sure, but I'm also gonna say, this has been a problem since I've been on the board and well before I got on the board that we were doing pond bank restoration accruals and budgeting and we didn't do anything on it. So if we take an extra 60, 90 days to your point, I would much rather staff do that.
I'm not concerned about the time.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about the time, but I think that is the process we
Yeah,
should
I
do.
agree.
If we can identify those.
Are you asking Mark to come up with a definitive scope? With one material or what's the ask?
No, well, the ask is we have two vendors, right? So I think that each vendor then would have to go, or three, whatever. Would have to actually look at each of the ponds. That we are planning to do in turn, that's red, to go ahead and say, okay, these are the materials I would use for this pricing. Better pricing, the best pricing, right? Depending on the material they're using.
So if I'm gonna run around, I'm gonna take the alternate, I'm a subcontractor and I say, all right, Tom, I'm gonna go put my duck boots on and get my boats and run around into the swampland for 3 days. What commitment are you willing to give me as far as an outcome? Are you committing to doing all the red areas for a minimum of $1 million spend, so I'm not wasting my time?
Well, we can't, we as a board can't answer that question because we don't, well, we can't because we don't know what that pricing
Well,
is.
Then don't you, Tom, have an engineer
I
of
can-
record that you could give me the map and the suggested means and methods so I could?
Well, we've already done that, I think, to the point. It's public record what
Right.
Mark developed before. I would hand that to him and say, this is what our engineer came up
This-
with. You can see
Okay.
the low and the high numbers.
All right, go ahead, Angel.
So I don't know what Mark gave the company he reached out to. I gave them Mark's
Yeah.
spreadsheet that had them divided into top priority all the way down. So what they came back with was a very detailed scope, what materials they're going to use, and they provided a price. So
That was one or all three of them, I'm sorry. Just one. Okay.
that's one vendor. Mark
Okay.
got one. Is that the same thing you did, Mark, or what was the scope you gave them?
Yeah, I gave them the spreadsheet and basically all the maps too, showing, all the colored areas.
Yes,
So
they were given the maps and they went out there and looked at all the ponds and compared it to Mark's spreadsheet and then provided their price.
What was the dollar amount for the red areas? What was
From the contractor that I got,
Yeah.
600,000.
So Angel, question for you.
Somewhat in the paint.
What was the time, what's the guarantee on this? For how many years is it gonna be good for?
That's the material.
Huh?
Depends on the material.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. How do you make a decision whether you're gonna go good, better, or best?
I'm gonna make it based on what's the price difference. If it's a 5% increase for 20%.
But I'm looking for a long term
Right.
as far as how many years
I agree.
before we have to accumulate additional money to redo it again.
And the answer is we don't know until we get the proposals back. I think
Right.
what I'm hearing is,
We go
if that
with
first,
the best.
well, if that first walkthrough was productive, think what I'm hearing is do that walkthrough 2 more times with 2 different vendors, do the same thing and see if they're coming up with
And it-
any kind of sort
To
of.
your point, it sounds like when you did your back of the napkin, that 600 grand came in line with what you thought.
But, seems like that's, Angel, did they just give you one price? Did they kind of do a good, better, best option or they just kind of?
Hold on, I can pull it up. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll pull it up.
And if you've got a scope that you're happy with.
Yeah, could you share that with us so that we can help?
Try to use that same scope.
Exactly.
And something with these vendors too, is they all represent different manufacturing companies, so, you might
Correct.
want, hey, we want to use material XYZ, but the other vendor doesn't support that one or supply that one, but they've got something similar. So there's a little bit of.
And I'm okay to Shell's concern of, hey, you're gonna get different things. I don't expect everyone's gonna come up with the same material. But again, I'm counting on staff to be able to look at it and say, okay, the differences between the two, here's the level setting. This one's gonna be a little bit less time, aesthetic, whatever else. That's what I'm gonna be looking for to common baseline.
And the vendor I was dealing with, they actually offered to kind of mock up some areas, try a couple different materials. Great. That's getting ahead of ourselves, especially if we're, looking for competitive bids, if they'd still be willing to do that, knowing that they may or may not get the job. But I can reach out to them. Who did you get your proposal from? Is that Ferguson or was that a third one?
What?
Who did you get your proposal
All right,
from?
can we, hey, Lisa, just since we're on the record, can we not say that out loud? I don't wanna put somebody's number. on it.
Right, that's
Was it the company that we had in here that we met with?
No, that was Ferguson.
Okay, so it wasn't, so she got one from
No.
someone else. Okay, so we will have eventually 3 then, okay.
I'm sending this to everyone now.
Just remember one thing, Greg, you're asking a lot of me, Mark and Karen, because this is totally new to me. Have you ever worked with stuff, Gary? You have? Well,
So there
he's the one to ask.
Notice that the non-verbal response.
And of course, let's not forget that even the best materials will fail.
Yes.
That's
But
the
the water line, where the water line is going up and down.
You're
throughout
negative
the
at
season,
right?
the grass that's on top of
Reality, you own a house.
highest quality farmers,
No.
will die and explode that.
If you're gonna get a couple vendors, I get them all the same day. All they're gonna be doing is looking at stuff. They're not gonna be saying, hey, we need this, whatever. They're gonna measure it.
Do the walkthrough.
You can handle walking anyway.
Call me, I'll go with you.
Okay, any other questions regarding this? Any other questions for the district engineer, Dave? Okay, Jan, we're moving on to you. I know,
We've had our hold for a little bit.
didn't think this would happen.
Yeah, I know this is a long meeting, so I'll be quick. I included our draft of the interlocal agreement with the county. I wanted you all to have a chance to look at it, to send any comments or thoughts you might have. This is to give the county an easement and require them to maintain any signs that they install in the verge areas. The signs are limited only to traffic regulation and compliance with chapter 316, which gives them the authority to put traffic signal signs. And we specifically say no other signage, including but not limited to informational, directional, or aesthetic signs can be installed without prior consent of the district. So we made it as tight as we could make it. We have that the district will provide the green poles because the county has told us flat out that there is no way they will pay for them. I don't think that's an argument we can make. I also added something that we could paint the backs green, so we'll see how they respond. But if anyone has comments, if you could send it to me, tomorrow, then I'll try to get this out to the county because I'd like to get it moving.
Jan, I have a question on
Sure.
a type of sign. So
Mhm.
this is just for traffic signs, right?
Yes.
So is there a way we can not allow the giant orange billboard signs that are placed on the boulevard or Celebration Avenue?
Yes, please, let's add that as a.
What are the
Well,
giant orange signs say?
Well, okay, so I think they can push around election time. Here's your election location.
Big trailer signs.
Yeah, it's the big.
Oh,
self-powered
okay, the
signs.
trailer signs?
But a lot of times they're for events at the library, there are events at the high school that the county's doing.
Peggy Chowdhury, I'm gonna have a.
Yeah.
Big session, right?
Staff has indicated several times they've had this conversation and something's not resonating with the county side. Our staff has indicated they've had that conversation several times and it's still, we just had one pop up here 3 days ago. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I will add that specifically, including but not limited to, trailer
So
signs
That's
that,
the only thing. Again, there might be a
Yeah,
requirement
no.
to say, because of elections, I'm just throwing elections out, that we have to have that sign for people. Okay, got it. But for all the other stuff, right, and you can't even read them because it's like, welcome to.
Well, and even if they have to put it up by law, if they can at least give us the courtesy of notifying us. Hey, we're gonna be putting this up, everyone's going to be hearing that, whatever.
Yeah.
Jan, my
Okay.
question was intent of the document. This is very narrowly scoped just to what we've been talking about for the past month or two on traffic signs. It
Yes.
does not address, obviously, Dave's question from 6 months ago for the workshop we didn't have of other non-movement, non-traffic signs. It also doesn't address the fact of the PUD language never being fully implemented for us to being able to control street side things.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's parking only. No, this is purely to give them rights to put the signs in our verges, because at this point, they're refusing to approve plats, and they're realizing that they have a problem on their hands, and our insurer, they found out
This is
this,
stemmed out of Island Village, out of the issue there in phase.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
I got it.
Island Village, and they had a giant oops when they realized that they had no right to put them anywhere in Celebration.
tracking.
So that's all this is. And we know we still have the other signage issue, but I'd like to get this one hopefully wrapped up quickly, so then we can move to that one. And the board has to talk about that, but this was our big thing for the month. We did a couple other, miscellaneous agreements. We were served today with a new lawsuit, another slip and fall that occurred last year on Celebration Boulevard and Sycamore. Again, a sidewalk trip and fall by somebody from Winter Garden or Winter Haven. There's two other suits that have some activity going, looking for discovery. So, yeah, we're still in the middle of those.
Jan, do you need a motion, I'm sorry, on this draft to go forward or?
No, we gotta look at it first.
Okay.
Yeah, well, but like the board, I think last month said that we should go ahead and draft an agreement for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Including Tom's stuff, I'm good with the inclusion of Tom's language. We would approve it.
Okay,
What would we approve?
move to approve the draft with, comments that may be made by supervisors that aren't material.
No, absolutely not. This is for review and we approve it next month.
No, we really don't want to wait another month. This is holding up construction.
Yes, for tomorrow, for feedback. Yes, tomorrow feedback, and we're gonna have to vote on a final. No, we're not rushing this through. Absolutely not. I gotta look through all this and I'm gonna have 10 questions.
But. Okay,
We just got this.
so Jan, when did you send this? This was just today?
A week ago, it was in the agenda last week.
Okay, so we've had it for a week.
I mean, it's limited to traffic regulation compliance with chapter 316.
No, absolutely not. I'm gonna go through, I've already had a ton of questions after reading like the first 6 pages. We're not gonna rush this.
I'm fine holding on. I'm not gonna be beholden to the county's timeline if they had an oops. If Dave has major angst, then okay, I'll wait a month. I will withdraw my second.
We'll have comments. I'll have comments tomorrow. I don't know about everybody else.
I hope you had comments today,
Oh, I have.
because we had it for a week.
Oh, no, I have a couple. If we really want to start, spend the next 45 minutes going through them.
Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge.
I'm fully prepared to start this process now.
Well, no, so I don't mind starting it, but I would like to end it too. I don't
And
want
it's gonna
to
be 45 minutes of discussion.
from start to end.
Well, I've got a lot of questions.
No, that's not my question. From start to end. So you-
I don't know how long you're gonna talk about it. Whatever.
Let me repeat myself.
What?
You stated that you have a lot of questions. You
Yes.
have this for a week. And we have a lot of questions,
I
right? Okay. But you're not completely done, so you would have more questions. So
That's
you need
correct.
more time.
Yes. And
So I wouldn't bother wasting time this meeting.
That's
because-
my point.
Because you're not even done yet,
that's my point.
right?
Yeah, but if you force me to go through it today.
Oh, I'm not forcing you to do it. I just wish, again, we've had this for a week and.
I have my timer set for 45 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, in the future, I'll, do you want me to send them separately and say, please call me to go through it? So we don't have to go through this at the meetings if only one.
I would do that and maybe give it like a 65 day.
Yeah, I mean, we did, this is,
I mean, it's
this
just,
is
a
kind of
week
a
is
minute.
tight. A week is tight. I get that.
Yeah, and I asked, when this came out, I asked what the purpose was, and the response from Angel was discussed at the meeting, but no decision.
Okay. So. Let's get your questions.
And it's everybody, if they want to.
That's fine.
No, just Dave, because you're on maintenance.
Yeah. Well, you're the sign guy. Right? I did this and I'm fine with it. I just had questions about the orange signs, which, you forgot about. So I don't know. I'm like,
Oh, no, that's all my list.
oh, yeah, well, I cut that one down. So one less thing to talk about. All right. So Jan, I guess we're gonna wait on that.
Okay, Dave,
so-
just call me when you have the questions or scroll them in the corner and send them whatever's quickest.
Okay.
So we will then vote on the next meeting. So if anyone had questions for Jan. then go first. Okay, Jan, anything else?
No, well, we have the Island Village Celebration Boulevard turnover, just the finishing up the bridge lights. We finally got those documents sorted through and we'll have the 1A and 1B next month. But other than that, we're good.
Resolution.
That's not Jan.
Yeah, it'll come down when you're doing action items.
Yeah, we're not there.
So I'm sorry, the bridge lighting one, was that just for us to review and discuss in here? Is there any highlights you want to hit that you think we need to?
No,
eyeball?
no, everything is completely done. This is just the documentation. This is a quick resolution accepting them and then move on to the next thing.
Anything else, Jen?
Nope, that's it.
Any questions?
Can
Any
we not,
questions?
can we not vote on that on this meeting?
Yeah, we can vote on that. That's resolution if you want to do that now. But do we have any, but let's make sure, do we have any public comments since it's not listed under action
I'm
item?
not rushing into it. I just.
No, no,
it's here,
yeah,
it's done.
no, I get it.
Get it out of the way.
It's
Sure.
later on the agenda, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll get. to it
Well,
later.
it's in her report. Not listed later in the agenda, I don't think.
Yeah, it's B, consideration of resolution to 2026-02. My bad. Accept water bridge and lighting improvements. All right, preparation is key, I'm just telling you.
Now we under the district manager.
Until I screw up, and that's gonna be my.
No, that's all right. I'm about to be annoying again because I still got legal questions.
Well, that's. I'm sorry, Jack, go ahead.
No, I'm moving on to district manager.
Well, apparently, okay, so any questions for Jan? Dave?
Yes, the MOU from CROA is not gonna happen. Is that what I heard last meeting? But
No, they said they still had to vote on it, which they told us a month and a half ago they voted on it. But I asked again this month and was told a few days ago they were going to, the board would have to discuss it and vote. So they're not moving anywhere quickly.
I didn't realize that was still an open-ended thing. Jan, is there any reason for me to go sit in their board meeting and ask if they have questions or do they have everything they feel like they need and I can stay?
I
with
don't think they're going to agree to the agreement. I think I don't know who's running this, but it appears that they just think they want to keep doing what they're doing and don't want to agree to anything.
Well, the beauty of this, just so everybody knows, is we will not be going ahead and maintaining those sidewalks or the trees and stuff. That is growing,
regardless of.
regardless of it. So that's,
Well, and most importantly, their lawyers put that in writing that he acknowledges that.
yeah, so that's all we need.
And I think they did commit to giving us a map of what they would maintain though, these areas, right?
We requested that. We have not received anything.
So that is important. We would like to get the map and we would like to get something acknowledging something. But, you know, they said they would write up something about a month and a half ago. I asked again last week and they said they were still needed to bring it to the board. But they would not share what it is they're bringing. So Greg, I guess maybe the answer is yes, you may want to go see what they're talking about.
Wait a minute.
Not talking.
So let me, Jan, I'm sorry, let me ask you a question. So the request was for a document that says what's theirs and what's ours, or just what's theirs,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Why would they have to go to the board for that? Shouldn't they already know that?
Why do we need to request it? I guess we know what's ours and what's theirs.
No. So that's
Our-
not the question. We know what's not ours and theirs. They don't know what's theirs.
So in
We need the
in the
document.
absence of them coming up and producing that for us, I would make a declarative statement and say, here's our understanding. Thank you very much. This is what you're up to maintain.
That's what I'm getting at. I like that idea.
Until they provide otherwise.
Yeah, put it in our terms, put it preemptively and be done.
Call it a
Okay.
day.
I mean, Greg, Russ and Carrie, can you do a map of those areas?
Yeah, send it to me. I'll send it to Lauren, say we understand this closes the question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can just do a memo. Here's the map of the areas that Crow is maintaining.
There you go.
I'm good. Any other questions for Jan?
Anything from the FDOT communication we got a month ago?
On the eminent domain?
Yes.
No, not for celebration, although they just made an offer for another CDD that's very close to yours, so they are apparently ramping up. And I talked with their eminent domain attorney this morning and asked for a map of the current parcels they're looking at in celebration, so I could give you at least all a map of what they're looking at and what their timeframes are.
I'll keep us posted on them.
$1 million.
Jan, do we have an update to where we are with Enterprise?
Their attorney's still reviewing the agreement we prepared.
Any ETA on an answer?
No.
No.
Any perceived ETA on an answer?
Anything we can motivate to get an answer.
Good,
I'll bring cookies.
Blink twice if you know.
yeah, come on.
That's it.
I will call and do some begging this week and see, but so far I've not gotten very far.
I talked to her yesterday. She's looking
Okay.
through it. And we also have 2 new board members sitting this coming month. So
Hey, Jan, we owe an annual report December 1st.
Yes. Angel, I mean, on the CDD, what we're doing and our goals and all
The
that good
goals,
stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
it'll be on the next agenda and a post on the website, December.
Awesome.
That's the next section, district manager.
Well, no,
You're
it's
jumping.
illegal.
It's illegal.
Everything's legal.
She just bumped it over to I'll put it in the management section now, though. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
It's the same thing that you adopted, I think it was last year. It'll be the same thing, and then get posted on the website. It'll be on your agenda next month.
Awesome.
You guys are like a sixties springboard comedy over here.
Right.
Thank God.
Last,
Make their drinks like that.
last item, did we discuss last month a resolution authorizing the district manager to approve insurance settlements?
We did not approve that. The board chose not to.
Okay, so no action necessary. We're not pursuing it anymore instead?
No, we just approved that one. The board decided they didn't want to give authority they'd rather do it case by case.
So we're doing case by case.
Yes.
And it was just for the $50,000 deductible. To approve that. And it was,
Great, so we will approve any proposed settlement.
Yes.
All right, no further questions.
Any other questions from other board members?
By other, he means not you.
No, I'm just, well, I'm finished.
Dave had his-
I'm done. And I'm looking at you for it. All right, moving on to district manager.
I only have a couple of things. Sidewalk project in North Village. We've done about 65 panels. We wrapped up last week. There'll be nothing done this week.
Nothing open
No open panels right now.
for Halloween.
Correct. So we still have to go back and do
You're safe.
some
You're safe.
cutting expansion joints. We're not doing that because we've had some concerns about dust getting on holiday decorations. So
I know what you're trying.
So we'll wait a week or so and go back and do that.
Okay.
Probably a little coyote talk, because there's been a lot of chatter about coyote. I was on the phone with Florida Fish and Wildlife 3 times yesterday, so really, they're telling us there's nothing we can do. So
Wait, there's nothing, when you said there's nothing we can do, are they saying there's nothing we can do?
there's nothing we.
Okay, not them, but
Correct.
us, okay.
Yes. So you cannot hunt or trap on public lands, only private. So there's nothing that we could do on CDD property.
Differentiate that for
Private
me.
property.
Yeah, how'd you do that?
CCD property can be hunted by a wildlife trapper that CDD can listen.
Hold on, so
Florida Fish and Wildlife told me very explicitly, we cannot hunt or put traps on CDD property. So public lands.
How did you do that?
So do we do
Well, Hogston is licensed through the state to do
But if-
that.
But when we say we can't, if we were to contract a licensed traps.
And they come out and check everything and all
There
that.
you go. So there's a solution.
Well, the
Step 2.
yeah,
They told me complete waste of time trying to trap and relocate coyotes. So
As I understand the law, by law, a trapper cannot relocate, as I read it as a layman. They're not allowed to relocate. They have to.
No, that's not the case. They can relocate coyotes. However,
Permission of the landowner, you
I'll just post that. Hold on, so we're,
Yeah.
we can't have everybody talk. Jan, go ahead.
yeah, this is an issue statewide. They can relocate them, they can euthanize them. However, if you remove them from the property, they will have more litters to fill in the gap. So they hesitate to ask anyone to remove them or to recommend removals because it's just a waste of time. You'll have more the next spring. This is, yeah, I mean, this is going on everywhere. Everybody I know has lost hundreds of feral cats and dogs and all kinds of things. But there really is not much. They are native animals, so there's not a whole lot we can do.
Not native, invading.
No, they're native animals to all of Florida.
No, they are
And we can't
invaders.
remove from private property, correct, Jan?
Yes, you
Private
can.
property owners can remove them. If somebody wants to hire
Right.
a trapper and set a trap on their lawn, they can do it. I mean, there's all kinds of things they tell you about making noise and ways to get them not near houses and people. But private people can get rid of them on their own land.
just remember we've had them for 30 years out here.
Mhm.
Not like we have in the past 30 months.
No, we have to. I've ate lunch right here and had 3 of them walk right by me at noontime. A year ago.
They're hanging out here.
I'm feeding them.
100 years ago, there was 0.
Well, 30 years ago, they were all over the place out here.
1,000 years
And
ago.
still
there
are.
was 0. Well, 30 new out years ago, we weren't here.
Yeah.
So what's the next steps? Is there any?
You know,
Looking at.
Last year, we did like a public education campaign. I did the same thing today. Posted all the links from the wildlife website, how to move forward.
Okay.
How to protect yourself, how to protect your pets. So, and they're very clear that, hey, you're gonna lose feral cats, they're gone. Rabbits, raccoons, squirrels, you know. And they said it's really the homeowner's responsibility. There's never been a recorded case of a coyote attacking a human in Florida. According to Fish and Wildlife. So, and they said most of the responsibility falls on the homeowner. And I shared all that information today.
Well, for the private property, yes. And then the questions I've been getting from several folks is not specific to private property. Nobody I have had is asking the CDD to come on their property and do trapping. The question is exactly, and I'm drawing the analogy from the hogs. Because we see them as, you know, they're not just an annoyance, like the turkeys walking up and down my lawn and taking a you know what. They're hostile, you know, and the concern is, just like the hogs, that a coyote, whether it's a pet or it's a kid or whatever else, that's the concern. So I appreciate the, hey, you're shoveling water out of a boat that's got a hole in the bottom of the boat and we don't have a means to plug the bottom of the boat. I'd still say we're getting water out of the boat. I would like to see us pursue a contract with trying some limited trapping and see if it helps.
Yeah, you wanna address that, since we've been told that we cannot do that on public land?
Well, is there,
I would heard that we can't tell public.
You're incorrect.
Okay, go ahead.
Tim, we can't do this. We can't keep going back and forth. It was board meeting, we have the resident comment at the beginning and at the end. It's just very difficult to manage. Jan, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, the Fish and Game says you cannot hunt or trap on public land. They have certain areas in the state that are public land that allow hunting under certain times of the year, but we're not one of those designated areas. Whether we could trap and get a special dispensation, maybe, but they continue to tell us that the only reason they list trappers is because people ask, it doesn't work. And this, you know, we've heard this in every county in the state, and I'm sure Infomark has too. I mean, people get upset and, you know, yes, I've lost pets in my own neighborhood. But education is the thing, people not leaving cat food bowls out for the feral cats and their dogs. Those are the things that attract them, you know, garbage cans with food in them, all the typical things that, you know, same for bears. That if people can get trained not to do that, that will reduce them in the areas where there's a lot of houses.
So Jan, I mean, we can certainly go on a public education campaign. The efficacy of that, I'm gonna say, is gonna be limited. If I look at my crystal ball, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. My request would be if you can definitively say that it is not legal, because I think I've heard sort of mixed answers here. If you're telling me point blank with coyotes, we cannot do that on public lands, even though we are a public board that owns those public lands, and that they are different from our ability to do something like a hog. I got it. It's a legal thing. We can't do it. For me, that's different than, is it effective? Is it not effective? So if you're able to answer that, and that's the answer that it's not legal, is what it is. I'll table.
Yeah. Hunting is not legal. I have to check on trapping.
Okay.
All the things on Fish and Game say you can't hunt or trap. Whether that is a true legal statement, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I see on there.
Okay, TBD. I got it on my
Right,
list.
so we'll find out more. Cool. Later. Okay. Any other questions for Jan? Oh, no, sorry, for Carrie.
That's all I have.
Any questions for Carrie?
I was gonna put my hand for
Yeah,
it.
I have
You go.
at least first. Number one, we were talking when the sheriff came about the possibility of the no weapons sign for the 313 building.
Jan was working on what we can legally and not legally do or post.
Oh, so this is a Jan item.
This is another me item, and I've got a big long memo we are working on. There is a problem with the way the legislature passed the open carry law last year. It conflicts with the no handguns in public meetings. There's nothing wrong with saying no handguns in public meetings if we want to list that. But somebody could still show up with a long gun saying they have open carry rights and probably would maybe win a lawsuit on that.
And outside of the public meetings is the concern.
No, because of a handgun versus a rifle.
Yeah, the
The way it's
language,
worded.
the language was wrong in the new statute, and the legislature already has a bill to try to fix it. But right now, insurance companies, everybody agrees it is not clear. You know, the recommendations, if somebody shows up with a gun, to immediately stop the meeting, you know, and everybody leave the room. But the law is unclear. But the way the law stands without the open carry is that there are no weapons permitted in government meetings. The whole building is not included in that, although the Osceola County Sheriff seems to feel that you could stretch it to the whole building.
So he'll defend our lawsuit when it comes.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah.
I have a no guns decal that I could put on the door that I have not done yet. I was waiting for.
Yeah.
So that will be at least by the next legislative session is what you're saying.
Yeah, by May, it will hopefully be clarified. I mean, if we feel an emergency, we could always put up a sign. I mean,
Yeah, can't we just put something up of no weapons? Just, that's a pretty safe bet. Most people can at least adhere to that in a written warning. I mean,
but you'll get a challenge. I mean, once you put a sign up, you're asking for somebody to say, hey, I'm carrying a gun and you can't stop me.
What about clubs? Just wondering.
I would prefer we don't do anything. Just when you start putting up stuff like that, it's inviting somebody to say, oh, let me try. I
Yeah.
hate saying it that way, but
I'm
Yeah.
willing to, ready to drop that whole item also.
yeah.
All right, thanks.
We're gonna wait. Yeah. Anything else
Oh,
for
that last-
Carrie?
Last thing is, once again, in the Monday Matters from CROA, our meeting today was not advertised.
Sorry, can I interrupt? The communications chair, I talked to Jennifer and I said that that's a problem. They're gonna fix it. And from here on out, it will be
Okay.
advertised.
Okay.
I have a question.
No, please.
We had talked several years ago about having staff do annual evaluations on our vendors at the beginning of the fiscal year, which we haven't done them in a couple, and we haven't forced it and staff hasn't done them. Is that a lack of interest from the board? Because we also had been doing them, we had developed a template several years ago to do Infomark. Theirs was a little bit different because they were doing it on cycle with their contract as opposed to the fiscal year. It's something we were doing. I thought the first 2 years they were good, at least gave some top level feedback from staff as to what they thought. We could certainly provide any input we wanted to then formally go back to the vendors and say, hey, here's a formal evaluation for an annual thing, just like we had done a couple years ago for Infomark. I'm not throwing, it's just as much our failure to enforce it as Infomark hadn't been pulling them up. Do we want to continue those or no?
I will say that I do, because I like the opportunity to tell people like Clark and Premier, which I think are doing an outstanding job outside of their board meeting, that, and they have something in writing that says such.
I have the template. When would y'all like them due back to the board?
I mean, we initially talked to them about the end of the fiscal year, so that would have been September, October meetings. So I mean, for this year, if you can do them in the next 30 days and have them to the next board meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Also
And-
provide the
and
documentation for.
Infomarks. We've been doing Infomark. I've sent them out to everyone. I have not got them back from everyone.
I fully acknowledge I was one of the ones that.
Yeah.
Did the first year, but may not have done some of the following years.
did you send them
And
out
I
to
typically
everyone?
will send those out about February.
Yeah.
I send those
February
out
was
to the board in February. We get them back, by March, and then we put them on the March agenda.
So Angel, we were
Yeah.
doing yours in February because that's when your contract originally was aligned to. When we went to the new
Correct.
contract, we changed it to October.
October.
if we- If we're gonna do Infomarks, my suggestion would be just to do it now and send out the template to the board and we knock them all out at once. So
That makes sense.
fiscal year thing.
Yeah, we just did
Sure.
ours in March.
No problem.
I didn't.
Oh, and so Angel, after you send it out, let's go ahead and take a tally and put in big letters if Greg doesn't turn his in. It's really big.
Well, he wasn't the only one, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Because Tom was the other one who didn't do it.
I did mine.
I did mine. Guys, we're taking roll call.
That's all I had.
Thank you.
So you will get that template and then we will do the vendor ones and they will all be in the agenda for next month.
Awesome. And then my suggestion or the intent was obviously Infomark would have a chance to respond to their be a draft. And then the vendor ones, I think, before we send them out next month would be, hey, are there any board supervisor comments to pile in the
Right.
vendor ones to send out?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Good, business items. Consideration of resolution 2026-01 budget amendment, budget amendment. FY 2025. Boy, mouthful.
Yes, as we discussed, we went over budget. We did reclassing and all of that. So this is just a budget amendment. And then you have your next one, which is motion to assign fund balance.
Make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? B, consideration of resolution 2026-02 acceptance of bridge lighting improvements.
Make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to assign fund balance, there it is, FY
There it is.
2025.
Make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consideration of arbitrage, I can't even say that, engagement letter. Arbitrage.
Yes, and this is the same one that does yours every year. If everybody knows what arbitrage is, just to make sure we didn't collect excess funds on the interest.
Make a motion.
Or, hold on, Jan wants something.
Oh, Jan wants to explain something, please.
Jane wanted a second.
Okay, sorry,
ahead, Jan.
I was muted. I think that was a subtle hint. No, it's just when you get tax exempt bond money, you can't make more
Yes.
interest on the money than you actually are paying in interest.
Yep,
And if you do, the IRS collects that extra money, so we have to prove that we did not do that.
correct. And this is for every bond. So you'll see
Annually.
a couple in there.
$500 a year, so my second.
Yep, didn't make a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? United Land Services landscape proposing, what's this? This is, oh, this is all trees.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the, those five, those.
Get rid of the apartment pairs.
Cheaper, yeah, a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion.
Second. Favor?
Hold on, discussion.
No, please.
When these go in, how will we ensure that they stay alive? Is that?
Quiet meditation.
There's no way to show that.
This is a.
I know the direction he's going.
You can check them every day and those stuff are getting drier and
Yeah.
the water tank over.
Let him play out, please.
He's planned it for 3 weeks now, give it a chance.
Ruin everything.
Then Ross, we're sorry for Dave.
So,
Is this in regards to another tree
It might be.
it might be,
Are you going back
that they weren't watering when we asked them to water?
and they were told they were not asked to water, so
Well,
anyway.
that's what they said.
Yeah, that's what it is. Although, maybe it's something different. In any case, are we gonna communicate to the
Well,
homeowners?
first of all, I think we need to, now you said that you're fine with us doing that, is get with the homeowners that have live trees or no? And say we're replacing them with a different species.
It would be nice if we knocked on their door. told them
Yeah.
to take it.
Yes. Yes, I think they need to
We
know.
will tell them we'll hook up to their irrigation for water bag, and ask them to water every day for like 5 minutes.
So
Right, if United should be responsible for if they're doing a water base, United should be monitoring to make sure those are staying full.
right. They should be doing water bags. They don't always do water bags.
Are you providing them contacts when you knock on the door to why? So it's not just.
Normally, tree's dead, we go in there and just put a new one in.
Yeah, but the part of the pairs we're gonna lose, so yes, there should probably be some.
We get a little bit of contact.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll create a little narrative
Just
document.
so it's
Later,
clear.
fix your
You're gonna
trees.
get one back, one.
Well, there's.
Yes,
gonna be-
Just.
But not as pretty, they don't flower, so there's gonna be a
Here's the.
concern about that, yes.
Yeah,
But they're not as pretty now.
Yeah.
the dead ones are.
Aside from the flowering, they're not.
No one recommends planting those in the state of Florida anymore.
So just the narrative would be.
So, yeah, proactive communication to make sure that they understand what they need to do and the obligation to water
And why?
And quiet meditation.
and that should be for all new trees going forward.
So we got a motion on the table, right?
Second.
This is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Quick comment on that, I'm gonna probably hold off on that until some of the revenue starts coming in. So we're not,
We're also waiting until after hurricane season.
Yeah.
I don't
3 days.
Yeah, I mean.
It's first week in summer. First of November, it's still.
Is it?
Like 35.
Yeah, it's summer.
There's a damn cat.
Late.
But it's not hurricane season.
Jamaica. November 30th. That's hurricane. Okay. Fencing bids. Oh, I've been waiting all week for this one.
yeah.
Fencing bids comparison table. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bids. Very different slopes. So can you provide a little history on all this, as brief as possible?
I'll skip the history and just go to our recommendation.
Yes. Well, we know the history, but I think there's been some good feedback on this.
Yeah, the far rate fabricated, if I'm understanding, is to match existing, that's with the complete leveled scope. And your 113 to 200, and then the others are cheap aluminum and PVC that don't match that you can get commercially available if you're just gonna dump it in.
They're prefabs,
Right. So it's significantly different. We had talked about 100 and, what was the initial, we said it was 15% over, what, like 180?
168, I think it jumped to.
So the revised scope brought the low down to 113 and 200, so, and we're sure that those are level loaded, right, to be like for like. So if we wanna stick with the aesthetic and
I would like to
fabricated,
narrow our shot grid to the 3 that are not PVC.
I mean, you guys agree, well,
I don't know if they're yet, we're there yet.
what do you think about the other two options? Are they seeing them?
Well, the white PVC is mimicking what we had throughout the rest of celebration. The green prefab is what you see going up around the school now.
Just the.
So, just a little clarity as I'm looking at this, the table, but I've noticed it didn't have its locations.
I have by location right.
Is it?
You do not have that.
Oh, well, so I don't have that because there's a difference between near the 851 building and Greenbrier. It's two different
This is
locations.
combined.
Yeah, I'm
Correct, but what I'm saying is that it might be different material.
Oh.
You see, what I'm saying there's different material.
Yeah, so we-
Prefab by the back on Greenbrier.
On Greenbrier.
Correct.
Yeah, because there's already like too many different styles there. We just keep what the style is there. We could say, all right.
Is there one vendor that could do the consistent mapping with the cheaper fencing that the school already has on Greenbrier and then do a different fencing, which is the higher end fabricated?
They did not respond that way. Fabricators did not bid on prefab fence. So if you made the decision, say on Celebration Avenue, we want to go with the existing railing, we would use one vendor. If you wanted to use something else on
It makes
Greenbrier,
You're gonna get totally different pricing, I would suggest that. Stick with the fabricators for the custom work and then stick with the other vendor and have two vendors. You get a cheaper price.
But is there pricing scalable per square foot? Because now instead of saying we're giving them X, we're giving them.
Well, but it's gonna be probably a little more per lineal square foot, so your 200, let's say, is gonna go to 220,
Well,
because they don't have a common.
yeah, they bid it by location. The quotes that we got, instead, first, here's what it's gonna cost you to do Celebration in Greenbrier.
So you're saying we could have, you do have information tonight that we could break it into 2 separate approvals if we wanted to.
Could do that if you wanted to, yes.
Assuming they're willing to do that for economies of scale. Don't know that that's true.
Yeah.
You might have broken it down by scope.
You would have to
It
go
doesn't-
back and ask.
Doesn't mean that they're gonna
Yes.
say, yeah, I'll still do it for 200 a square.
Motion at the end, come back and say thank you.
Let me rewind a second. Is there a recommendation from staff on any of these or bids or a hybrid of them?
Or is the question here purely aesthetic at this point?
I would say it's purely aesthetic.
Okay.
So you don't have,
If you want my opinion,
yes.
Celebration, I would stay with the existing railing. I don't see how you fit that in and make it work aesthetic.
You mean on Celebration Avenue? You mean on-
Celebration Avenue,
Right.
yes,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
yeah.
And then Greenbrier, I would like to stay with the school fencing because it's already there and they're not changing it. It's gonna look
We're
weird.
just not adding another element, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. I would make a motion for whatever the cheapest means is to do that. I don't know what those numbers are.
So you're
We just don't have.
Well, no, he does.
No, he does. The breakdowns are
Yeah, I thought I had it with me and I don't.
So aluminum on green barn fabricated on Celebration Avenue.
Yes.
And you take your lowest bid if they're.
The lowest bids of those two different scenarios.
I'll just say I'm actually fine with aluminum on Avenue because the school fence is already there. You know. It's already it's already kind of a thing.
But not at that section right by A51.
Right, it's on the same, it's right there.
No,
Then
it's
here's
not
nothing.
baseball field.
Yeah, I would.
Now that it's on the ball field, it would fit in, quote unquote.
On the 851 side, I might agree with you. On the opposite side,
just
it's gonna look weird.
Yeah, I think it would too.
Right downtown, we're gonna get hand grenades lobbed at us. People say, what'd you
And
just?
the combined solution is still cheaper than what our original budget was.
Yes.
Yeah.
$40,000, so.
So now you're gonna need to make a motion on how you want to move forward.
Do you have numbers that we can actually make a motion against?
I do not.
Do you get them?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so we
I thought I had it broken up.
we can temporarily table this.
Well, we can make a motion to say that on the fabricated side, that you will.
Lowest price.
Use the lowest price, staying within the same budgeted linear square feet of 200 dot, whatever. And then go with the lowest on the school fencing and combine the two
I
contracts.
second what he just said.
All right. Can we get specific?
Discussion.
Yeah, so in the proposal, so that we're using actual numbers or people, is it for the aluminum style fence to go on the Greenbrier section provided by Fence Direct?
Yeah.
And on Celebration Avenue, that would be provided by Superior Metalworks.
Correct.
For just that section.
Yes.
That's enough to go with. I think they can.
As long as the lineal square feet, because
Well,
again, I don't know how many.
I would-
exactly were there.
I would suggest we amend the, and I'm not looking to increase the price, but even if we gave a 10% overage to staff, if somebody comes back and says, well, I was counting on the whole thing, therefore my price per square foot goes up. And it's within, I would say 10%. I don't want to wait a whole nother month so we can argue about 10%. I would want to put in a 10% buffer off of what their linear square foot is, as long as they can keep it to that. Don't offer it to them. But keep it to that. If we can do that, then okay.
Yeah. Put in a buffer. Is that swishy enough for everybody?
Yeah, discussion.
So technically your motion is Celebration Avenue installed existing.
Celebration Avenue is Superior Metalworks for fabricated fencing
Right.
at a price not to exceed $260 point.
5%.
I'll go 5%, I'll go 5%, that's fine. And
Greenbrier.
Greenbrier for Fence Direct at a price not to exceed 30.99 times 5%.
Gives you a little wiggle.
Second.
Well,
No, you made the motion.
Yeah.
You amended it.
I'll second.
There you go.
Okay. All in favor?
Any more discussion?
No, okay. Right about.
Been a year and a half of discussion.
Aye.
Aye.
There has been a year.
All right.
Okay. G, consideration of Kawasaki Mule SX XC quote.
Can I jump in?
Yes, I was gonna ask you to.
Oh, okay. So Infomark, if the board's amenable to it, Infomark was going to purchase, a mule this year. Our cost, we will, keep it, no charge to the district. You would be responsible for maintaining it. And then next year you all can discuss whether you want to put one or two in the budget, which Infomark can also purchase if you'd like, and then we would just adjust the contract to reflect the depreciation. But this one that Infomark's willing to purchase now would be no cost to the district other than maintenance. If that is something you want to do.
We need a vote on that.
No, it's just unless you tell me absolutely not, I don't want Infomark doing that, then I would say, okay.
And it would just be here, right? It's not going anywhere else.
No, it would just be utilized by Celebration and you would be responsible for the maintenance, but we would purchase it and it would reflect no cost to you other than maintenance, which you already have in your budget.
But insurance is covered to you, registration is covered to you.
It's Infomark's vehicle.
So I just want the board to be aware that when we go into the budget season, we're probably gonna need one or two more.
We discussed this about 6 months ago.
Well, we could still have, Infomark could still purchase it,
But we still.
but they would have to modify. They're not modifying the contract now for this.
Okay, understood. And thanks for free stuff, first off. Next is, are we in operational disadvantage with only getting one?
Well, we had discussed months and months ago about possibly purchasing 2 this year. You guys just did not know if you were gonna purchase them or we were gonna purchase them.
Right.
And Angel, I would say that if we're gonna purchase them, if they need it off-site, there's no reason why they can't take it off-site.
That's true.
It's an Infomark vehicle.
No, I don't disagree.
What, wait, what, Russ? I'm sorry. What?
Well, let me back up even a little bit further. Number one, I didn't know Infomark was gonna pay for it, but it doesn't matter who pays for it. But if
Yes.
Infomark buys it, if like Raul needs it in Tampa for a couple days, there's no reason why he can't take it. It's an
Well, I
Infomark
mean,
vehicle.
yeah, you are right technically, but what I spoke to and what we kind of agreed as the partnership we have with Celebration, that we would purchase one, and Celebration maintains it. Now, if you're saying that other people can utilize it, then I would not ask Celebration to maintain it, to do the maintenance on it.
was my point.
I'm just saying, like, if someone else got one that's broke down, say, hey, we need to borrow one for a couple days. I don't see the big deal. Otherwise, we're gonna use it here.
Yeah,
They want to pay for something that's constantly gonna be gone.
No, I understand I understand your point.
Yep.
That wouldn't make any sense.
All I was asking.
no, so
Yeah.
that's the proposal. If you all want Infomark to purchase one, we're happy to do it. You would just maintain it. And if you're saying you'll maintain it, then I would say no, it would not be utilized by other individuals because Celebration's paying the maintenance on it. If you don't want to do that, then yes, it could be utilized by other individuals if you don't want to pay the maintenance. But I will say probably 80% of the time, if not 90, it would be utilized at Celebration.
95.
Yeah, 95. And then next year budget cycle, you would put in 1 or 2. And again, you could buy them or Infomark could buy them and just adjust the contract to show the depreciation over, I think we've got 3 years left on our 5-year contract. So we could do it that way too. All up to what you want to do.
I don't want to ask the question very specifically because I think I know
No.
the answer, but I want to make sure. Okay, well, there you go.
Thanks, Greg.
Are you proposing to buy it and operate it as an Infomark vehicle and we are paying the maintenance? Or are you proposing to buy it and then title it to the district and we're providing the maintenance?
Infomark.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Thank
you wouldn't, you would just basically pay maintenance while it's being utilized here. But if we were gone tomorrow, we would take that vehicle with us.
Tracking, I'm much more comfortable with that because otherwise it's a donation to the district and I was a little, yeah,
Same as the trucks and the other ones that we own.
tracking. Thank you.
So
Sure.
when can I order that? Angel?
Well, the board has to agree to it first. If they're not, if they don't want to go that route, I would say no.
Approve as
Move
long
to
as
agree with it.
vehicle.
I move to agree. Second.
Yeah. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There we go.
Okay,
Do we need to wait till like December?
no,
the tax
Russ,
roll?
no, I've already talked to Carrie. He can tell you what to go look for, what to go get, and then we'll go from there.
Russ wants his new ride.
Sounds like they've been talking behind my back, so I guess I'm none of this.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
Yeah, because you were so mean to me last time. So,
Sorry, Russ.
Yeah, it's an Infomark expense.
I'll send you flowers.
thank
Alright.
you.
Want to back up where you want to fight real quick?
Yes, please.
Okay. Prefab aluminum fence on Greenbrier, $6,445. To do Superior Metal Works on Celebration only, $72,216.
All plus 5%. Or that include 5%.
Well, it's not include the 5%, but you're at $80,000.
Okay, sounds great.
Half of what we were talking.
Yeah.
Which is great.
As Jack would say, make it so.
Make it so. Well, you didn't see it. So. All right. Are we all done with that? Thank heavens. H, Albert Bryan agreement for boardwalk repairs.
That is the engineering company that did the structural analysis of the boardwalks. At that time, when I was with Brian, we talked about if we went on an RFP, would you want to utilize our services? So I had to put together a proposal to create RFP, help do the drawings, make sure that the corrections were getting built to the specifications that he included in his report. No action is really taken. We don't have a budget. We don't know if we're moving forward. But you have information here that if we're gonna move forward with an RFP, once the budget gets established, this is what the cost would be if we use them to kind of manage the process.
What is that total amount?
It's 9,000.
9,500.
I just wanted that you said, right? No,
But
I,
know, number, that's one.
Yeah.
And then two, they obviously-
Yeah, which we don't know what that is.
I don't know if you included it or not. There is a pricing sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was principals, $300 an hour, clericals, $130 an hour, pretty good for clerical.
Yeah, but I don't know how much we would utilize that. Maybe post-construction inspection.
Yeah, inspect, right, CEI.
I was really happy with their work.
Yeah.
And I think guiding us through that would probably save us quite a ton of money.
They've already been out there.
Said,
Go, of course, you know.
yeah, they were, but, and
Yeah, but we wouldn't start this now, or?
You have started it.
Or you could start it now if you want to approve it. You don't have a budget established. You're not sure what funds are going to be available. So it's really, if you want to make a decision.
I would- in a rush.
You don't know the structural issue that we know about?
I thought there wasn't really any
They said there weren't.
structural issue that, so what are we?
I would want to remediate any of the structure, because he did say there were a few, there were like bracket spending and things that he was, I would absolutely want to remediate those. Anything that's an aesthetic one.
No, most of the aesthetic stuff is the decking above, which we're taking.
Yeah.
care of. Most of the other
If your
structural.
money and that was yours, would you spend 10 grand? Knowing what we know, I don't see it, but maybe I missed it.
I'm here to fix stuff.
What was your mind?
I second that one.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. You wanna do?
Yeah.
Make a motion.
We, well, I would move forward with this because if we're aware of a deficiency, our obligation is to fix it.
Second.
Well, was discussion, because
We're still gonna fix it.
we're still, okay, so, but you know what's so funny about this? That we knew about the railings along Celebration Avenue and Greenbrier for
3 years.
Yeah, actually longer than that, by the way. And so I'm not saying we're not gonna fix it, but waiting 1 or 2 months, I don't think.
It's gonna change in 1 or 2 months.
And there's nothing imminent. Right.
Yeah.
I'm
mean,
kind of person,
that's to your
as we're
point.
doing, as we're doing some of the funding, I kind of want to have certain things fall into place to go ahead and see that. Right? I'm, because we're in October, fiscal year began October 1st, and like, all right, let's engage on that. I don't know, I just, for me,
So it's $10,000 to tell us something we already know. There's nothing imminent. There's nothing like safety. So what are we getting out of it?
It's not to tell us
No,
what we don't.
no, it's not just that. I think, don't they work
No.
with any future vendors?
Well, he would create the RFP. He'd create structural drawings on the way that they.
To
His
fix what's
recommendation
wrong.
are to repair it.
And
I think.
we got a good report, so we're expecting it's not gonna be a big
work with
dollar
other
items.
Correct, yeah.
But we do know of some structural deficiencies. And that is something I don't think we should be waiting around.
We're working on the biggest one right now, starting today.
What would you handle all of the structural deficiencies in your opinion without the $10,000?
I'd have to go over that report again. A lot of it's been done.
Yeah, I just.
So I'm sorry, you're saying you think we can address all the structural deficiencies without approving this? It's just gonna take a little bit more time.
No, there was, so if I remember the report correctly, it wasn't just the structural deficient, there was stuff that the Infomart could do.
Mhm.
But there were certain companies who would have to hire some vendors, because there were some posts,
Mhm.
there were some heavy equipment that had to come in.
And some of them were in the areas where it was.
Yeah, it
yeah.
wasn't just, let's get Russ to do it, there's a difference of things.
That's why I'm asking.
The
question.
other thing too, for was 86,000, 9,000, 8,600, 9,000. It's not just putting together the RFP. It's also watching what the vendor is actually gonna be doing to make sure that they are doing it exactly too.
Yep.
They're not missing any screws, they're not missing any bolts,
Mhm.
right? And they can do it obviously because they went underwater, they checked it all out, so it's a little more than just that. I'm just saying that if we can approve the 9,000 right now.
Mhm.
But it's the RFP process. Are we ready to go to RFP once this is put together?
I'll ask from staff, are we not ready to go to RFP?
I mean, this is still a couple of months to go through this process, so you wouldn't be spending money now, Tom, to your point. This would all culminate.
Again, all they're doing is sketches. Maybe I'm not reading this right, but structural repair sketches, that's it, they're not. Exclusions, preparation or evaluation of detailed opinions, probable cost estimates or bids, so what you're saying is not included in. So we're gonna end up spending another $300.
You could pull the sketches out of his report and create your RFP out of the drawings that already has. They're just not, I mean, they're not.
Mark, what do you think?
I don't know how detailed those drawings were in his report. There were just locations and just kind of a description of what was there.
Well, they're pretty detailed, actually.
So if there's enough information there for a vendor or contractor to price it.
I don't see it.
Well, and let me back all the way up. Why do we have this in our agenda? Who asked for it?
He asked me to include it when he did his report. He asked me if there'd be any post work once the report. And I said, I can present it to the board.
Oh, so he
So does staff,
unilaterally.
does staff feel that, and I'm gonna use the phrase in reasonable time, and I don't know what that means. Do you feel like you guys can independently, between the three of you and everybody else in the room here, address what's in the scope of here of overseeing a vendor and drawing this for RFP, or do we need a specialized guy to draw an RFP up
I
for
think
us?
so. Wes and I talked about it. We thought we could do it. We get some assistance from Mark.
That's the point.
Well, but he's doing documentation going into that. I'm not in disagreement. Yes.
This is gonna be $20,000 by the time you're done for something we already know.
If
If
staff,
that's charging by the hour too, it's gonna be a lot more than that.
That's what I mean.
It's a fixed price for a fixed product. It's
It is.
all the inspections
I
afterwards.
know, but we're making a lot of assumptions. Would,
if staff feels they can do it, I'm gonna withdraw my second, and I would ask staff, as long as the board is okay with moving ahead on this, to Dave's point, I don't wanna let a safety thing linger, and Tom, I appreciate.
I will say this,
We were moving in good earnest speed, trying to find out a way. to
No,
do
I
that.
get it. No, and I respect that. I'm just,
I will say this, that might ease your mind a little bit. The hurricane in, I think, 17, there was boardwalks that literally looked like toll bridges and stuff. They had put pilings in and all that. I mean, 40-foot gaps and all that stuff. We had that construction do it. Came in, knocked it out and was done.
40-foot gaps didn't make me feel better.
Huh?
40-foot gaps didn't make me feel better.
Perfectly fine.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of work.
All right.
Well, you're missing about 40, so there's boardwalk.
I'll withdraw my second.
The other thing you could do is break it up into smaller jobs. This boardwalk is 20 grand. Do you want to do one section at a time? Use a smaller vendor like Nash.
I mean, so this is a good point, because we have that report, but we don't really have a plan to execute the repairs.
so we would need a plan to execute.
well, you
Staff
are
are going.
executing.
No, they could put a plan together. They don't have a plan. now.
Well, yeah,
Staff can do that.
Yes.
just, why don't you have that as part of your report every month?
Let's
Show
ask
yourself.
us, are you not executing upon a plan to correct the bridge deficiencies?
Frankly's been fixing a lot of that stuff that's
Yeah.
on that report.
We already did.
There's two pieces. Yes, so it's the superficial stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's also.
Yeah.
Structural.
Which is the pylons, a couple pylons that need replaced and
Yeah,
stuff.
he had issues that he had identified as critical, which we can handle, which are done. Some of the railings were splintered or
Right,
broken.
I remember this.
So those were all done.
Okay. I'll withdraw my second and ask that by the next meeting, if you guys can give some sort of outline as, hey, for everything that was identified as deficiencies in there that are life safety issues, what's the reasonable time and plan, and what do you need in order
And
to
if you
fix
wanna
that?
cover something magical, we can revisit this.
Yeah.
Right now, let's.
Is next board meeting enough time to put a plan together?
No,
No, probably.
it's a shortened week, shouldn't.
Yeah. So maybe December
Yeah.
timeframe.
Okay.
Perfect.
And this is.
I just want to make sure.
Why don't we just get a couple of RFPs to do X amount,
We could,
then we'll estimate it between me and you. Here's $100,000 worth of work or whatever. And go from there and we can move on after that.
It's kind of like the red, yellow, I mean, we can segment.
Well, you asked me if you wanted this included as an initial proposal, I said, no, let's not do that. And he came back and he said, I know we talked about this before, and I'm like, okay, sure, it's a proposal.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Osceola County Sheriff's Department, discussion for scheduling workshop. And also after that discussion for Halloween night.
Yeah, we do not have a workshop date. He had one day in November. It doesn't sound like that's gonna work out. Is that correct?
Who can and can't make it? What's the date on that?
November 13th, and I can't make it, and that's night or big.
And I can't make it either. I can think it's.
Yeah, share liaisons, had most of the conversations. It's probably important for him to be there.
I can, but the 13th of the change.
Well, what other date do they have in December?
He did not give us one, and we asked again today, and they said, we'll get back to you.
Is that for the sheriff himself or is he delegating down to staff?
It's his executive assistant who manages his schedule.
Well, I guess my question is does the sheriff need to be in the meeting or is it something delegatable down to staff?
That's your.
Well, that's gonna be on them as to whether or not, I mean, the last phone call I had with the major seemed like, and even when the sheriff was here, it was go talk to the major, go talk to the major, go talk to the major. So if we feel comfortable, we can do that.
Major Guevara, is that?
Yeah, Guevara.
So my question is that if we end up talking to the major. What guarantee is all these items gonna be addressed?
Sure, he has the authority to speak on behalf of the sheriff's department.
Well, I know, but there's questions on, I think, pricing. I think there's one thing in terms of what type of sheriff stuff there is. There's trespassing. We're having a major issue with trespassing because they don't want to trespass. All of a sudden that rule change.
The only thing I feel like would be in question is whether or not he's empowered to talk up and make commitments on the agreement for full-time. I mean, as far as daily operational trespassing, that he's the major and head of patrol. He's the head of all patrols in the county. I absolutely think if he can't do it, nobody else is gonna do it. I'm just, if we're gonna also talk about the agreement that they sent us the cost estimate, and we're gonna talk terms and conditions, I would recommend we do it only if we know we can get at least the major and their attorney in the room.
So they haven't provided any, have they provided official costs?
We have the one that Greg shared with us.
Yeah, but didn't,
That was for a complete deputy.
Well, that's what that was intended for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna pay for a car, come on.
Well, and that was the conversation that needed to happen. One guy's opinion, not that of the board. If we're doing a partnership with the sheriff's office here, we need to do a partnership. This is not, I'm not Walmart asking for an off-duty deputy.
Well, in various meetings I've had with the sheriff and our Veterans Club meeting too, he indicated we'd have a whole lot more activity and celebration.
Yes.
I want to find out what he's gonna do because we spend an awful lot of money on these deputies right now. And we may not need it.
We've seen,
I second that.
I've seen it. Have you not?
I see it every day.
Physically,
I gotta tell you.
which is good.
Yeah,
The reports look good. I mean, I read all.
Unless you're one person got pulled over, it's not good, but.
I'm gonna play Missouri. I'm gonna do the show me state and
well, that's what I'd like to see that, I want to see the sheriff stand by his word.
And it seems to be going.
how long is that gonna take in order to, what's the measure of success that we're gonna put out there to determine whether or not that works or not? Because that could be at minimum a year for him to get through a full budget cycle to be able to say he went to the county and banged them for an extra X% increase so you can get more deputies. And I doubt that's even gonna get done in 1 year. I'm speculating here, guys, but he's not gonna do that with his current budget and his current staff. There's a reason they're shorthanded.
So,
But he said they weren't.
He told us they are currently fully staffed the first time in 5-6 years or something.
said in the meeting.
And he said that's why we're seeing the higher presence of people in celebration.
And he made a commitment
So-
to do.
so I guess my question is, and I wasn't at the last meeting, so I'm talking at
That was great, King.
But, and you're supposed to come in October. I guess surprises last meeting, so sorry I missed him. Is there, with the staffing we have right now, is there an urgency? To get, I mean, because obviously he can't meet in November, and maybe we do go to the major and find out what the availability is.
Well, my recommendation is you put an agenda together, either the items we want to discuss, and we send it to him. Who has the authority to discuss and make decisions?
Based on this.
Yes.
That would make sense.
It was the full-time deputy proposal. We did bring up a discussion of the Sheriff said he was absolutely interested in reengaging the conversation about the room upstairs. To your question of urgency, my urgency, Tom, is the fact that we come in here meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. We're pissed off about the fact that we're paying $80 an hour for the details and we don't feel like we're getting what we need out of it. So my urgency is we're continuing to put $80 an hour, whatever that number is, down a hole.
Well, we could stop it right now.
Oh, no, I
And then
agree
we'd
with
have no urgency, based on that. I'm just, you
Yeah.
know.
And to Jack's point, I mean, if we're really gonna stress test whether or not this works for our community, that's what the answer is as of, and I wouldn't do it tomorrow, but I would say, hey, 90 days out, guys, we're gonna cut this off.
Well,
And I'm not
and-
advocating for that, but that's the ultimate test.
But also to be clear, in the last 3 or 4 months, not all shifts were filled,
Well,
right? I mean, and I would almost argue that.
There's been a majority of the shifts.
Yeah, most,
Have they?
yeah, most
Yeah,
of them are.
those were-
but I'm also gonna throw out the unpleasant political reality. That message from the sheriff is only good so long as he's the sheriff. He's gonna
Well,
have a special
that's
election
all- well,
coming
that's
up.
all.
Says somebody else comes in and
That's-
back to where we're at.
Right, and whatever deal we have might be in a wash anyways, right? So it doesn't,
The reports are clearer. I saw a lot of detail, more detail than I've ever seen.
What we don't have is a blotter though, outside of that, to show what the activities.
Yes.
I mean, Jack, overall, you're most done. Is there anything left that you still have angst over from what you're seeing in?
Always have angst about e-bikes.
Yeah.
Always have that.
And that understandably, we've all acquiesced. That's not something the sheriff can solve by himself.
I've seen some of these guys that we have come in here, like McDonald and Cabot and Butler. You don't want to be on, you don't really speed when they're around. They come in and they'll give you 10 citations in a 4-hour period. They're very-
I
very-
would still like to have the conversation with them on it because we did raise the question. And if we go through that conversation and say, hey, guys, particularly if they're not gonna acquiesce on any of the money, if it's still a $200,000 a year cost.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was one time upfront. I mean,
I saw that.
80,000 of that was the car, the gun, blah, blah, blah.
Well, of our $200,000 budget, we're still paying out of the radar cameras and stuff too.
Mhm.
So it's not quite $200,000.
No, but I'm sorry, their cost estimate to us was right.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
That was-
And that's why I would prefer we have a conversation about, hey, this is a partnership discussion because we're a government agency. We're not Walmart. If we're gonna do this, it's mutually for the benefit of the sheriff's department and us that we're helping to offset the cost for an extra deputy.
I don't see us being able to get, unless you get Guevara on another date or somebody like that in November. I mean, I just soon wait until December and get to talk to the real sheriff.
And contractually, do we have a 30-day out?
No, there's no contract, no
There's no
contract.
contract? We can just stop.
Well, there is on the shared services one, the one we did with the tri-party with Proa and Lexon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
That's a separate contract.
Okay. So I understand you're saying it's operational. I still think trespassing is important.
Mhm.
Because the deputies that both Crova, the CCD and Lexington pay for, the deputies are standing there while people are doing activities on the promenade that we have not authorized.
Well, I think we need to give them more direction to these.
Well,
the
it's,
walking deputies.
it's not just more direction. So from the staff standpoint, they had been told by deputies that they can't trespass anybody because we don't have signs there. The problem with that is they told Lexington they don't have enough signs. Lexington put up more signs, not to have bikes or whatever. And then the deputies came back and said, yeah, we can't enforce that. I mean, that's just foolishness right there.
And
So we definitely, my thing is staff needs this because it's not just people on the CCD property, but it's how we handle certain individuals that come into the community. If we're not gonna be able to trespass anything from our property, we have problems. We always used to.
Well,
We always
and I
used
go
to.
back to, because we had one guy here who knew the property, well, then effectiveness or whatever.
But this changed, this changed like a year ago. Boy, all the times before that was fine. It was just in 1 year.
Oh, I don't know. When I first took this over from Cliff.
No,
I was getting some awfully
no.
confused conversations every time we had a new captain coming in here
Well,
going. we're not sure."
that might be so. But I'm just saying, I don't really care.
No, I agree with that.
We were getting a lot of complaints and people are just, if there's no rule of law, then we've got a problem. So
I would put 3 high-level topics. I would put the conversation about the full-time deputy. I would put the room upstairs and I would phrase it as operational concerns and daily patrols. And we can include in the daily patrol conversation. We don't need to detail them all on the agenda.
Minor item would be we want a blotter, but.
Yeah.
Back to your, what is the discussion about the deputy? We got their proposal.
The conversation in my mind is number one. Are they willing to acquiesce on any of the numbers? And number two, my point is I really want to see what the terms and conditions are around that, because that's where this failed last time. When this got cut 6 years ago, wasn't because of the numbers. It was because the sheriff's department came in and said, you can't ask the deputies, or you can't task the deputies to do what you were tasking them to do anymore. It was in the legalese. It wasn't in the numbers. So from my perspective, this is going to work. That's where the conversation has to happen, as to what can we reasonably do and what can we not do?
Good thing it's not a canine unit, it costs even more.
We need to get a conversation with somebody to make these decisions.
Yeah.
So let me go back to, the room upstairs. I think it's a fantastic idea, except for one thing, and this is where I think it's a challenge, and it's more a question for staff. If there are deputies upstairs, right, and it required 2 or 3 car spaces, I don't know if we have 2 or 3 car spaces to give up. I mean, we are maxed out at parking over here. Now, it changes during the day. It changes during the day, but at 6:30 AM, right? Until you get to maybe about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's packed on the grass and here and there and everywhere.
Well, I mean, that was something when we initially did the design. I remember Mark brought that up when we did this exercise 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
And that was one of the things I know was that, and the fire exit piece, because you needed a dual egress, and we'd have to punch out the second door. I think was the other issue. as well.
Yeah, the other thing too is, we're losing any use of lot B. So a lot of the stuff that we have is either gonna be moved in the back here, or it's gonna be moved to Island Village. So it's more constriction of space.
Mhm.
So I just wanna make sure that before we talk to the sheriff about this, we're okay, because we might be promising something that I'm like, it might not be physically feasible. I don't know. It's something to evaluate, because if the workers can't go ahead, our team can't go ahead and park, they can't get to work, and that's a problem. So. I don't want them then, when they build, the courts over here, so people started bleeding into the Crow parking. I don't want that. So want to make sure we have enough.
Well, and that's a separate topic we need to have with.
Oh,
Carl.
upstairs.
It's public parking.
You let them, we're gonna do that link to get some stairs.
There would be another entrance on the back for the deputies.
Right, all of those are manageable. Based on the last time we looked at.
Yeah.
All right, then.
So
What's the
set
schedule?
Directive. Try and get the sheriff again in December, or try and get a decision making.
Decision making in December. And workshop.
Well, and I will add my disclaimer every time, I'd rather it be a meeting than a workshop, so if we actually come to a decision on something, we actually put it in motion.
So you wanted to be a meeting?
Yes.
I'm okay with that too. Whatever date we get, figure out then what we want to do. I need to go to my kid's birthday dinner. Are we doing anything else on sheriff?
I don't think so. Do you have anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll wait to the Halloween thing.
Oh, Halloween.
I mean,
Okay, I'll stay.
Listen, I'll bring candy by your house.
Okay.
So what's the plan for Halloween right now?
So we really need to discuss, because we had created a map, changing some directions on some streets. Advice from the sheriff and advice from legal was, don't do that. Sheriff said they can't staff. The plan that we provided said, we cannot staff that. You need at least 14 more officers to do that. So we decided no. We do have street signs that say no left turns. I think that might be a good idea, is to put those out. They said you don't really need to staff that. Somebody ignores it, they ignore it, they just stop traffic, but it might assist with traffic flow if we do that in a couple of areas.
In the spirit of partnership, I am frustrated the fact that when I started 6 years ago here, we were going to them and saying, hey, we can augment your staff, and they agreed, because the first year that I oversaw it was they brought in 20, we brought in 4. That over time turned into, they told us we needed to bring 14 and they were gonna bring 10. Because the perception continues to be, this is a community sponsored event. It is not. I would prefer, honestly, at this point, we completely step away from any conversation at Halloween, including any staffing, anything else, and simply say, hey, guys, what do you need from us in order to execute a safety plan on public streets that belong to you guys? I really, that set me over the edge when they sent an email saying, Jack was nice enough to give them 10, which I would not have agreed to, but Jack's working on the budget. We've given him the authority to do that. And for them to turn around and say, oh, by the way, now we need 14.
Not only that, we have to pay them holiday pay.
Yeah, that I'll say it out loud, that pissed me off.
Yeah. And keep in mind, there are other areas having the same issue.
Yeah.
Right?
This is something that I have politely told them over the couple of years when I was the liaison to the chairman. Hey, guys, this is a county thing. The county needs to pick this up, and this becomes the problem when every year you get a new captain of, oh, I didn't know that, and only to talk. And they will continue to muscle that because they can't afford it. I get it. That's a them problem, not an us problem.
Yeah, so they're staffing 14 officers, 10 guys on bikes, and then we're supplementing the staff with 10 additional officers.
And we committed to that, so I think we should honor that, but
I think we should honor that, but I think
Yeah.
we need to make a decision on this because the problem is every year Halloween happens. and
It's no
there's-
surprise.
And no surprise. And the problem is even having a deputy in every intersection, you still have a ton of traffic. You know, the boulevard's lined up to World Drive. It's not,
I'm not
It-
sure what they're doing.
I don't know. It's not.
there is a safety piece there. I mean, they did have some reports 2 years ago. There were some fights that they were able, because they had guys on bikes, they were.
Yes, they were able to get there
Stuff
quick.
like that, absolutely.
And I get that.
I see there being a benefit. I also see that, A, I don't have the obligation to fund that. B, to the point of setting up plans on this, I sure as hell don't want to go down that road because when something goes wrong, now it's our problem that we ask for something.
That's-
Exactly what they said.
The other thing too, it might be clear after we meet, you know, in December and after that, to kind of figure out, are we
Put this as
in a
topic.
partnership or not, you know?
Mhm.
No signage?
Personally, for me, I don't think signs are gonna help. It's nighttime and people are gonna look at the signs and go, well, there's still gonna go down,
Put a
right?
big pumpkin out in front.
Because when you're looking for a parking spot, you're looking for a parking spot.
Well, the signage, you got a real problem with Jasmine Street. People are coming in from campus, they either go down campus where they cut off and go Jasmine.
Mhm.
And then the people in Greenbrier make a left turn up Jasmine.
I have that
It
every day,
stops.
but I have that every day.
Happens in Nash. and
And I
goes
think
there.
that's a polite conversation to the sheriff's department of, hey, we noticed that every year Jasmine becomes a problem. I hope you're able to address it.
It's also in Nash, and what is the other street we mentioned?
Sycamore.
Sycamore. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And I would feed that to them and say, these are non-professional observations we're making as a board and as residents, that, hey, these tend to be some choke points. Good luck.
Well, knowing that we have the ability to put one-way signs in, is that what I'm hearing?
We do have the signs, but not one way. We can do no left turns.
So
We were told not to do one way, correct?
Correct.
Why are we told not, that would solve the problem if it was one way?
Well,
Temporarily.
If they staffed it, they said it's fine, do it one way. If you don't, we do not have the ability to do that. We can't change the direction on the street.
Right.
If they're there monitoring the intersection, we change the direction there, we're fine.
the other problem is today is October 28th. Halloween is what day? What is it?
Right. Right.
Yeah, the homeowners on those streets would need to get notified.
Yeah.
That they either can or can't get to their house on the regular route they would expect, right?
They're not gonna get to the house.
They know what's happening.
But when it happens, guess what? I'll forward you their phone calls. I'm just saying, it's
So
just,
what's the staffing we're expecting on Friday?
14 of their officers. 10 events. And then more staffing, an additional 10 for pedestrian and traffic monitoring.
Taking that out of it and cannibalizing for other shifts.
Correct.
Reducing.
Yeah, we
shifts.
modified some shifts in November and December, so there's no budget impact.
We can direct them then. That's the, making those one ways be
can we direct them?
paying for 10 of them, can we direct 10 of them?
They said, well, I don't think we can direct them. And then they say they would not staff those areas.
Correct.
We can't move those 10 over there. They said they won't do that.
No, correct.
This again goes back to if you're paying for something, you're expecting to get that service.
Yes.
I know, I'm just, you know,
Understand why they say it.
no, I do, but then I also, we pay $250,000. Anyways,
We gave a pig a pancake.
that's good. All right, any other discussion on Halloween night? Okay. Moving on to consent agenda. Consideration of minutes from September 23rd, 2025. Can we approve all these?
No.
Well, Jack has a problem. with
Okay,
it.
Jack, go.
At the first order of business, I didn't call the roll. And I certainly didn't lead the pledge of allegiance, so we need to make those changes.
I don't believe in the pledge.
Oh, I do. Totally.
It's always the
What-
next thing.
What was it, Jack? I'm sorry.
This first order of business, as Mr. Hume called the meeting to order at 5 p.m. and then Mr. McLaughlin called the roll. I didn't call the roll.
Oh, okay. Thank
That's
you.
scary.
Yeah.
And then the second order of business is kind
And
of
we're,
ridiculous.
and while we're talking about the agenda, there seems to be, we lost the section markers.
Yes.
The what?
There was title pages in each of the sections.
Everything's out of order.
What I told you, Angel, you said you'd fix it next time.
Oh, page numbers. Yes, Dave brought it up. I'll get those inserted by the next meeting.
Okay, all right.
All right. Subject to those two things, I move to approve the consent agenda.
A second. Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor requests.
Requests.
That's what it says.
Money.
I want my own parking space. I love.
Oh, it is. It's right across, it's on the other side of the fence.
Pizza every night.
Request pizza every night.
Push it out for you, it's right there. Put a sign up.
And a sign with my name on it.
I do have a request. You know, I'm tired of seeing all these for sale signs and homeowner signs that are going up on the weekends.
I brought two. Anybody else?
Oh, they're all.
Don't forget
I'm saying-
put up Christmas light signs.
I'm saying Pro has a responsibility is, it's the homeowners that are putting this stuff up. I almost feel that we ought to man the thing with a porter and charge $15 for sign and pull.
I don't know, can we do that?
I don't know, but Pro does not have covenants enforcement on weekends. That's ridiculous. Are you from Pro?
Covenants and.
Covenants, but
I
he's
used
not a.
I used to deal with covenants and we never let.
Working together in Crow, but that's not
We never let this happen
He's
before.
for covenants.
This is absolutely absurd that they don't have a 24/7.
We have Dave, that's who we.
Yes, we have different.
No, but he hits his village, but it's all North Village, it's
No,
everywhere.
I hit North Village too, but it's the,
No, it's ridiculous so that we have to do this because Pro is not willing to do their job.
But we are seeing an increase in businesses starting to put up their, that has
That's true,
started to
too.
increase.
Probably those engineering signs will be full, 35 maybe that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Do we call them? Do we have them take their signs back or do we try?
We left them in here for about a week. I said, I have
And
all
that's
your
not-
signs if you
yeah.
want them. And then I threw them in.
Normally they go straight in the dumpster.
Any other supervisor requests? Dave?
Um,
Well, you just gonna dismiss my request?
No, I just don't know if we can do a quarter. I mean, Angel, is that something we can do? I mean, because we don't have anybody working on Sunday.
Do a what? I'm sorry. What was the question?
To try to have a porter or somebody drive around and pick up signs, but then we'd have to charge Crow for it.
I would.
No, but can we though?
Awesome.
You
Leave
can
them.
pick them up off a CDD property. Is that what you're talking about? Not private property, correct?
Right.
And they're
Okay.
on CDD property.
Yeah, I mean, we already have people doing that, don't we, Russ?
Not.
They got two people working Sunday doing that too, but they're not looking for signs. If they see one, they'll pull it up, but they're going
Oh,
for doggy pot.
okay.
Doggy pot.
Yeah, the other thing is they're gone by 10. And a lot of times the realtors aren't putting them out till after that.
Actually, Marcos comes in
Yeah, he comes in.
sometimes. They work from like
Well,
10 to 4.
here's my problem though. We're doing Crow's job for them.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not caused by CD people, it's caused by homeowners. Okay?
Yeah,
No.
and to dedicate people, Tom, and then you want to bill Crowa, there's no guarantee that they'll pay for it because they didn't ask us to do it. So again, it's going to be a cost on the district and hopes that you get money back from Crowa, but they don't have to pay it.
I know, and I know it's ridiculous what I was asking, but it's just Crow needs to stand up and do their job.
The problem
Agreed.
is- The problem is, it's funny because it's things like this that, boy, I could get away with covenants like you wouldn't believe.
Well,
I just need a good attorney.
it's just like this does not exist everywhere.
I know. All right, so we can't do that.
Thank you, sorry.
Can we have a strongly worded letter sent to Provo, telling them to,
Why don't we put them down McDonald's house? Put them right there.
All right, let's
take a
on that note.
I do,
You go ahead.
one clarification is, I've been coordinating with the county on the turn lane on the boulevard going to World Drive. I think, working with the county with that, Mark and Carrie, you saw the latest.
I sent that communication to the board, Dave, as well.
That was the slope two, the 3 to 1 to 4 to 1.
Yeah, I think he was
That was
fine.
my recommendation.
He was
yeah.
fine with that. Wanted to make sure
Are we paying for the irrigation? Cause it's $36,000.
whatever they do, they've got to make it right. So if there's a
That's
irrigation,
what I asked.
this is what.
I've been with the county and state
All right,
before.
time. Are you, if they break something, they fix it. If it's in the right, if it's part of that, if they need to move an irrigation main, then they move an irrigation main. There's
Okay.
no cost to us.
But we
Well,
need
the-
to get that right.
Yeah,
So
did we get any of the stuff that we asked for? I didn't see the recent correspondence. I mean, we asked for title work and a written demand of what they want, and I mean, this is something that should be documented. It's technically eminent domain. And we need, deeds and title and agreement.
Agreed. That was at their legal. This was their planner and operator on Road and Bridge, who's going through to bring this from 90% to 100% plans. So
Okay,
that is, that was communicated to them.
okay,
They just need to make sure the irrigation line is moved, so we have service before they rip the other one out.
That's,
We
Fine.
sent them all the documentation maps, all that stuff.
yeah, they got it. So we'll
When
wait
do they do it? I don't know.
I have one item as more of a schedule item in December. Usually the board gets together and pays for a lunch for staff.
Okay.
And we don't have a date scheduled. Usually try to do it on Friday. It could be Thursday. Anybody have a preference for that? Obviously, I don't want to do it the week of Christmas because that's chaos.
Preference for the meal or the date?
Date,
They
the date. But it's board members that pay for that. It's not the district.
you have a date you guys want to do it?
When you said it on a Friday.
Friday is the 5th, 12th, and 19th. And obviously Thursdays is one day.
That'd be
Why don't you
lunchtime,
do lunch, right?
Maybe a lunch.
Do it lunch.
We've done a lunch.
Question is how much you gonna put into
Usually it's like
$100 each?
$75 to $100 each.
5th or 12th.
Yeah, not the 19th.
Yeah. not the
That's fine.
5th or 12th.
5th or 12th, okay. So since the Carrie, you can check with Greg to see if 5th or 12th works.
Okay.
Let's get that. I don't want to wait because
What's the budget?
it's usually, we usually just spend $75 to $100.
The newest board member pays like.
Yeah. The person who talks the most usually pays triple, so there.
Okay, good. He's gone. That's right. Make motion that Greg.
And second,
Gary, I say very little. I drum up a lot.
Well, yeah.
I'll go to Canadian Twist. Yes, please.
Russ, it's coming up, December approaching very quickly, and those light poles over there by 417. You promised me that FDOT would be doing those things in December.
No, they promised me.
And is that gonna happen or not? So
I don't know why.
I'm gonna say that
I mean, I
FDOT wants any of our land, I'm gonna refuse anything till that eminent domain, until they finally replace those poles.
the ones that, which is funny, the ones at Celebration Place and Celebration Avenue. And the ones at Celebration Place and Celebration Place, they're moving forward on that very fast.
Right.
But
But that's not the
county.
ones that we want. That's
That's
county.
county. The other ones are part.
Well, I think the other ones are county too, but for some reason they're on state property,
Right,
if I'm not mistaken. And that's how that's.
because they're right at the on ramps, off ramps. Okay.
Disprove anything.
Anything else?
Then
Okay.
Quick comment, Crow's moving pretty fast on the pickleball courts.
Yeah.
Engineers have been out, they're surveying what the
Mhm.
pickleball course.
I've already been drilling, for soil.
So we need to move our stuff and
They get
Yeah,
it.
it's up there.
We got some poles and some dirt.
Yeah, we've been stockpiling stuff on the corner right here. We're gonna have to relocate. Probably out of the village.
Yeah, they must have come in with some money. Look at them building stuff.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? No, good. Audience comments. And I'm so glad you got before, he's always trying to be first, so.
Sorry, this Tim Zolansky, 797 Oak Shadows. Back to the coyote discussion. Very well documented, the number of coyotes in the neighborhood, the number of cats that are gone. So request that CDD consider enlisting a trapper to hunt on CCD property or any homeowner that gives them permission to hunt on their property to try to reduce the number, just like, you know, FWC says doesn't work, but same thing with mosquitoes, but we still hunt mosquitoes and we still kill mosquitoes, even though we know there's gonna be more mosquitoes. We've got so many of these. My cat got out on Friday, literally took half an hour for a coyote to pick her up. And a lot of neighbors are not happy with.
Yeah, my wife lost all her Stockbridge cats. She had to
Yeah.
get her before and they're gone.
And it may be that just that the way things go now because coyotes are everywhere, but at least if we can make it a little safer and get rid of some and just continue the process of every year picking a few off. And I also encourage people that are on CCD bordered properties, that if you give them permission that they have their fur bearer trapper's license, they have their hunting license, and they have a crossbow license, that you allow anyone who requests access to CDD property to hunt on it, on adjacent to their property, that you allow them to do that, to make a process to do that, so that you can enlist the community's help in doing this. So that's another consideration to try to. What's that?
Full hours.
Yes, so
You've got a turret.
if your property is adjacent to CDD, let's have a little party, you know, over at Shell's house. But those are my requests, those are my, and I think there's enough community support to also support what I've said, because I've talked to a number of people. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you. Tim. Your young man in back.
Gary Hutspeth, 1471 Resolute Street. I was looking for some clarification to make sure I put it right. Carry on the extension of the green aluminum fencing for Celebration Avenue and Greenbrier. Is that including the extension to cover those drop-off areas?
That's why we're building it.
Yes. Yeah, just making sure. As far as hunting goes, please check the Crawl Charter rules. You're not allowed to discharge a firearm in a residential area.
Correct.
Okay.
The CO2 weapon is not.
Crossbow is legal.
Yeah.
Not private property and.
Right.
Gary, we don't need to hear about the chart.
CO2 weapons are not firearms.
Correct.
So I just wanted to say that's the language.
Please do not argue with the audience member. All right, that's all I got.
Also consider with those fences, that is coyote travel area. So. I don't know if you make them coyote,
I don't think so.
block them from getting through there. That, because that's the area where they're sitting right by the school.
Add electrification to the club.
Yes.
I saw Jurassic Park.
There you go, that works.
Yeah, you can see
Unless power goes out.
trails.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Run. All right, motion adjourned.
Move.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye, have a great night.
Thank you.
And bye, everybody.
Literally, like, yeah, the dumb son got home